so it would fall on it. And I said, I know, and I also know that happened because you wanted me to put all that shit away.
Yeah. Like
She was just like looking at, yeah.
You ever seen the video where the squirrel staged his own death? You ever seen that?
Yes.
No.
You've never seen that video? Oh, hey. It's an actual video of this flying squirrel that staged his own accident. You got to see. You won't believe it unless you see the video. You got to watch.
Is it on YouTube?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
that thing went viral because you literally would. I don't think you could train a squirrel to do that. I mean, maybe you could, but I don't know what's more impressive: training a squirrel to be able to do something like that, or the squirrel doing it on his own. Either way, it's pretty impressive.
Man, I wouldn't doubt that you could. Have you seen these Frenchies that can skateboard?
Yeah.
You gonna teach House to do
that? I thought about. He's too lazy.
I don't know. If you taped an accessory on the front of it.
Oh yeah. A treat and accessory, unlimited. Yeah, he probably would. I thought maybe Fauna would do it because she has more energy and she's smaller. But man, they'll be on those little skateboards and their little legs are like, and it's not them just going in a straight line. They got them in the malls and shit like that, going around people steering the boards. And I'm like, how did they teach them how to do that? But I was like, oof.
Some are just naturals.
Yeah. Oh man, it's already filling up. Nice. It's good to see Mario back here. Look at that. It's been a while. It has been a while. Are you guys ready for this episode? Woo! It has been an eventful week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did something happen this week?
Yes. The first episode of True Detective came out.
Oh man, did you watch it?
I did. It was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I'm waiting for a couple episodes to come out before I jump in because I know how I am.
Same.
Yeah, with this one, I would say because yeah, man, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. Thank you guys for joining in. We'll have some good conversation here in a little bit. After I got done with that episode, you know how we're almost so conditioned to binge watch.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, damn. Now I gotta wait till next Sunday
to
watch the next one. So you got a good formula for that.
Did you watch the previous seasons of True Detective?
I watched a couple episodes with the McConaughey and Harrelson.
That one was good. That one
I
was
did.
So good.
I watched a couple. I didn't get too deep.
You gotta finish that. That's good.
Yeah, I want to now. I figured if I do it, I know it's not all connected, but I really wanted to watch the one with Mahershala Ali. So
Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
And Blade.
Don't call me Cottonmouth. So let's get this started because I have a feeling this I won't lie to anybody. I think this episode will probably go long. I think it'll go long because I think
that reverse psychology thing. Now to be 90 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much. No,
well, everyone got it all out. We're done.
Yeah, damn. 90 minutes. This has a lot of layers. I know somebody would look at this from the outside and go, "Oh, they're just talking about two toys," but there's a lot of layers to this, and that's what I like about it. And I've seen a lot of compelling arguments on the internet from both sides. So we'll dig into that. I guess we should timestamp this,
People are upset.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you that. Are you guys ready to make content for the rest of the world? Because I guarantee you will see some of this stuff later. You guys ready? All right, here we go.
I'm hydrated.
Hello.
Drink my water.
Yeah. It's tea. It's nothing else. I promise. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Paige. Welcome to episode 147 of the Hangout, where we will definitely try to give you positive insight into the world of collecting, a very chill and relaxed atmosphere. I say we because I am joined by two of my favorite and only co-hosts ever. Just kidding. But I couldn't think of a good one for you, CC. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. Yeah, for this introduction, I'm sorry, man. So I'll just say I have two of the two Corys. CC is here. And then we have Mr. Straight from the Sewer, Michael Cory.
Yeah. He's growing a beard again. You see that?
Yeah, it's a little.
Was that by request?
No, just lack of ambition. All the extra work right now. Hard to step that close to the razor in the morning.
Got you down.
You look clean, man. You look like you're ready to. You look super fast today. You're so clean.
Smooth,
Yeah.
Aerodynamic. Hey, look, man. The last thing you want with this wind and cold that we've had is friction. You just
yeah. You just
want the cold to slide off. That's all you want. It's been, man. Anybody that's in the thing from Michigan, you understand what I'm talking about. These last 3 days have been a doozy.
It was 45 here this morning. That's cold.
Yeah, I think our high was 14 today.
Oh God.
That was the high. The high yesterday was 3.
You got to shut the state down, like we said. There's a temperature threshold. You got to be able to shut it down.
Dude, I tell you.
Yeah.
I tell you.
All right. So you guys ready to get into this tonight?
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just say the word.
Word. Let's go. All right. All right. So for tonight's episode, I'd say it is a little bit special, right? Like I said, I really think that this whole topic has a lot of layers to it. Oh, what is this? I'm almost at the gate. What is Yes, they will be here always. All right, so tonight's episode is properly titled "Are You Seeing Red?" I think the alternate, I guess you would call alternate universe episode would probably be The Void in Your Heart or Your Collection. I should have went with that one.
That's deep.
Yeah, I try sometimes.
Yeah.
But let's get to some TopCons tonight. Really, most of the show obviously is going to focus on this figure or these two figures. But we got a little bit of news to note. We got Jada Toys, Hasbro, NECA, not really, but I thought it'd be interesting because it's a nice segue to Mezco. I guess we'll be talking about Mezco tonight. Two quick things. Tonight, we've been talking about this for about 2 weeks now, but tonight we're going to do 2 tap-ins, okay? If you're unfamiliar with tap-ins, do not do it now. I know a couple of you guys are going to do it. I know which ones will probably do it. This is a test. You're going to see this banner across the bottom. When you see this, all you have to do is type in tap in. What that is going to do is I'm going to keep track of it, or one of us will keep track of it, and it's going to put you in for the drawing for the Dr. Doom throne that these magnificent gentlemen have donated. Thank you, guys. Clap some notes for that. But there's going to be 2 thrones, Dr. Doom thrones, that will be given away. You will pay for shipping, though. These gentlemen were just gracious enough to donate these 2 items. So again, not now.
Oh,
comments. Who did it? Nobody yet. Whoa. Okay.
Hey, Paige, we forgot one thing about that. Is it'll be 2 separate people.
Thank you, sir. Yes. So 2 thrones, 2 separate peoples. You can't get 2 thrones because Dr. Doom will look weird. So again, you'll see this tap in at the bottom. Once you see that, not now.
The weekend throne.
Yeah. Once you see that, all you have to do is type in the comments, tap in. We're going to take the first, you guys can call it. What do you want? 5, 10 people? What do you want? Not now.
How many are you doing tonight? How many different tap-ins? 2?
2 tap-ins.
So 5 a pop?
Okay.
First 5 each pop?
Mm-hmm. So let it be written, so let it be done. Tap in, bottom of the screen, first 5 people. You just type in, tap in, you'll be put in. And then also, we have 2 special guests tonight. And MC, if you don't mind, I'm going to have you maybe forward the link to Christian and Son-Ova. Those are the 2 that we're going to have on tonight. Those 2 guys, they automatically get 2 entries just for being guests. So thank you guys for coming on, and we'll coordinate that for you guys to come on and hang out with us and talk. in the chat or in the comments. In the chat. Sorry about that. Thank you, Loco.
Can Christian DM me on Instagram? Because I don't know I don't think he's one of my 7 followers.
You sure? Look through that list. Do you have time to scroll through?
I'm pretty sure all the ones on MC's page are all female. I think that's follow him.
Yeah, I know. Ice Spice and
awesome
Doja Cat and shit. So if you look at on IG, I think he's C Powers.
C Powers.
Does that help? Yeah, C Powers. So him and Son-Ova just send them 2 things. But those 2 guys, they get 2 automatic entries. So future page, remember that.
Folktales, is that C Powers?
No, it's C. It's just C.
I got it.
Is it
just I got it. No, he just
Christian
messaged.
Powers too. Yeah. There you go. All right. So again, so we got that, the 2, and we decided at the end of the month, that's when you guys decided end of the month is when the spin will be.
Sounds good to me.
Great. So over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, there's going to be other miscellaneous options or ways for you guys to get entries. Sometimes it'll be on Instagram, sometimes it'll be on Facebook. Just kind of keep an eye out. I'll try not to make it too hard. I think I went a little bit overboard last with the question. Everybody's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I'll make them a little bit easier. But you'll have other ways to win entries. It'll be on the 31st, conveniently on a Wednesday. You see how that's how that all worked out? It does
work out perfect.
Yeah. So it'll be on that Wednesday night show at the end of the show, and then you'll get with one of these fine gentlemen, and they will mail your stuff out. Just remember, you do have to cover shipping for that. Okay? All right. And also, just to kind of keep the show on track for the 2 guests that come on, I don't want to try to cut your time or make it seem like I'm trying to censor what you're saying or anything like that. But the 2 questions that I would have for you are, were you actually able to get the figure? And then the second question was, what was your whole take on the situation? Then you can be as unfiltered as you want, but to kind of give both people equal time. I also think Christian has the figure in hand, and he's going to kind of showcase it tonight too. So.
Painful.
Little break. Thank you, Loco Lulu, for clearing that up. I think we're up on the chat, so we're good. You ready?
Ready.
All right. We went through the TopCons, but before we get to the main stuff, how about a little show force play? Not force play. They get it. See, that's why I rock with you guys. You get the dumb jokes I put in there.
No means no.
And so, MC, since you were not here on time last week, I want to give you another opportunity. Would you like to pronounce this person's name?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Canceled yet. Let's get to the throne giveaway.
Oh wow, he plays basketball too, huh?
Yeah, I showed. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's a two-letter man. So people gets up to speed on the joke. Robert Griffin III put this out, and it was a pretty funny little thing because everybody can't figure out how to pronounce this guy's name. I'm not rehashing the joke. I'm expanding on the joke. So he actually got on, and I hope this really works. And it is worth a minute of your time. But he actually got on RG3's little Instagram live, and he had a couple quick questions for you. So just please bear with me because, dude, I thought this is hilarious. So he got on there.
Sorry, have you guys ever been to Paris? It's a random question, but it's not a random. It's a random question.
I know why.
Can I stop this really quick? Can I stop it?
That says in Paris.
I know the song. I'm just asking him the question. I can't feed him the answer.
We've never been to Paris.
Plug.
How do you pronunciate the last name?
Oh, so this is how you pronunciate it. It's Noah Kanega. You say it Kanega. Kanega. Like that.
What do you mean by that? See, that's the key. It's Kanega.
There you go.
There you go. Now we're vibing. Now we're vibing a little bit. So, I know for some people that might ruin the name. I don't think it ruins the name at all. I think you should get a couple T-shirts that say Kanega, please.
Zaddy, chill.
I think it would be hilarious. Anyone ever gotten mad about your last name?
I don't think they've gotten mad.
I think that was probably the best part about it. But I thought it was cool. This kid had like, you know,
Good
he
sense of
was
humor.
just cool with the whole, yeah, he's just cool with the whole thing. Don't worry, and I'll take all the flack for that.
It's like that Chappelle Show skit.
Yeah, all of them. Jeez. Yeah, so yeah, it was cool that he had a little fun with it, and it's cool he had them on and stuff like that. Most definitely not a fan. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I guess Most Def is not a fan of Drake.
What?
Oh, I saw
He
that.
said he said Drake is too pop. In a sense, like if I was in Target in Houston, I could hear a Drake song. And it was like,
Retail music.
he said, yeah, I was like,
Retail
"Jeez."
shopping music. Yeah.
I remember.
He cut pretty
Yeah.
deep with that one. I'm sure there'll be a diss album on the way.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. And
Drake
I was-
won't let that one slide. He'll drop a diss album for that one.
yeah. Club Shay Shay.
Might want to leave
It
most
seemed-
of them alone though.
I would too, because that guy's a conscious rapper. I wouldn't even mess with that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Club Shay Shay. It looks like we have some competition. You throw this guy on your show and he starts putting up numbers like we're doing.
Yeah.
This, I don't think people grasp this. So when I saw this originally, I think it got to 8 million when I first saw it. I go, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
This thing's at 50 million.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's Jesus. That was such a
Those-
good interview, though.
Yeah.
Scorched earth.
Yeah. And there's so many like little snippets you can, cut out of it. And caught the part where he was talking about, I didn't think you associate yourself with losers or something like that. And she started laughing. There's so many sound bites in this, man, but
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I did want to announce officially next week we're gonna have Cat Williams on. So
Yeah. I want no part. You put me on blast for something.
I know, right? You're gonna dig in Cory's closet.
Right.
yeah. So let's work on some news and notes. Jada Toys. I didn't know if this was fake or not. Did they ever confirm this?
Not sure.
Yeah. So the person who's it? Mad Hatter Reviews, I think. That's the person that broke this. Is that true or no? If it's not, I'm sorry. If not, you got credit for it. But these are, I guess, these color variants that they have that were coming out allegedly. Maybe people in the chat know if this is true or not. Probably. But anyway, looks cool. I was really impressed with the Paul Mart one that came. We were all kind of like worried about.
Yeah. Yeah. What's a Palmart, right? We were all, what's
Yeah,
a Palmart? How did they get an exclusive? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man, I don't know about this. I was worried, but people got it. I got it. It's pretty good, man. So, and so that was it for Jada. Hasbro. So they announced. I got this from Wayne Collectors, and then also Fraternia. I think this went up for pre-order, or is today the 19th?
Yes.
I don't know. Is today the 19th?
No,
It is?
today's 17th. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. So this goes up for pre-order tomorrow at 1 p.m. And you got the patch and Kingpin, Tom Ford version of Hulk, Gray Hulk. This looks cool, man. This looks cool. I don't know if you guys, is this enough to draw you guys in or no?
No. It would take I don't know what Marvel Legends would have to do in order to draw me back in. I don't know.
Yeah. This looks
They've
pretty
had some good
cool.
figures though. Don't get me wrong. It's just too many. Too many.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was watching a streamer today and it kind of, is that really true? I was catching up with some of the chat. Yeah, I saw this come out, and there's a YouTuber that I was watching, and he took like a complete left turn, and he got on and he said, because he's been doing these deal videos and everything, and he's like, you know what, I'm kind of burnt out, and then he was just like, bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and he was mentioning this. He goes, "There's just so many Marvel Legends." He goes, "I got boxes over here I haven't even opened." And he goes, "You know what? Ain't time." And I go, "Wow, man, this is like, it's almost like we've been talking about for months. It's overwhelming, and you can see it taking its effect." So when I saw this, I was like, "Is this enough to bring some people, back in there?"
You missed a key local Lou comment.
I did.
You did.
How far?
Can't skip
I
it.
need this. I need this 2-part.
It's above where you're at. About 3 or 4 comments up. There it is. There it is. Never has he been more right.
Here you go. I'll float this to you for CC.
Yeah.
I'll float that for you.
Your words have never been spoken.
Trying to get entries off of CC for the drawing.
He is. He's like, he'll hit me up after the show. You didn't count that one, did you? You need to make sure you give him like five.
He sent me a DM, said I get another tap in.
Yeah. Next is NECA. I had the slide for this, and then obviously the engineer lost it, and so NECA, I guess they opened up their NECA vault, and they've been doing this for the last 2 weeks, just kind of putting out stuff that's kind of like from saying, different cons and everything, giving people an opportunity to get some of the stuff that they maybe have missed before. And I thought that was a cool idea. And then I thought to myself, it's a transition to Mexico. What if Mezco did that? If they somehow because they find stock sometimes, but if they had, maybe this is a little too touchy right now, but if they had reserve stock and then every once in a while they just kind of did a vault opening.
Well, Mythic Legions used to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's different theories on why they stopped, but when I first started collecting Mythic Legions, they were doing those weekly ISS sales. And those things would sell out in 3 minutes every Friday. But every Friday I was able to pick up a figure that, I had missed out on at retail. So it was an awesome premise. And people didn't seem to understand that the whole idea to do that was it kept the line top of mind, the entire week. Because that's all anybody talked about was, what do you think is going to be up for the ISS this week? What do you think is going to be up? Then after the ISS, it was all the hate about, I didn't get anything, this sucks, it's stupid, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So I thought it was incredible. Incredible. Definitely helped me improve my Mythic Legion collection.
Yeah, it would be cool. If they just kind of kept some reserve stock, but some of the comments are saying, what if, people are I was waiting for that. You didn't convert my wait list.
Right. You got some in stock, but my wait list never converted.
Yeah. Well, I figured that was a good little transition to Mezco. I'm really looking forward to having this conversation, but I'm kind of not. I think we need a little bit more foreplay. But before we get into this, how about this? Boom. There you go. There you go. Mm-hmm. I was covering your face. I'm sorry.
No, please.
Yeah. Oh.
For those who haven't seen what we're talking about.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nick's snack. Am I turning it off now or what?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep, we got.
All right.
Oh,
we got 5. Remember, it's only the first 5. I appreciate if you jumped in and did it. So hit me. Who do you got? I got knickknacks. Monty right?
Ninja. Monty first.
Monty. Well, I thought Nick's was first. Knickknacks first. No?
Monty.
Oh, my bad.
Sneaky.
Monty.
Ian.
Monty
Nick
Ninja.
Slid in at number 4. So Monty, Ninja, Ian, Saunders.
Ian's racked up a bunch.
I know. Molotov Folktales.
Molotov. I think that's Christian. I think.
Nick Snack.
See? Yeah. Nick Snacks.
And number 5 is Kyoto Films.
Okay. Always got to keep on your guard. You never know. You should do 3 just for fun. All right, let's get into Mezco. Grab your flame retardant suits, please. And let's get this started. You can feel it already.
The tension. The tension. I need a comfort toy. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
My
I tried to get a little fur
figure today.
Oh, that, yeah.
Figure, yeah.
That's the Golden Age, right? I mean, the Gotham by Gaslight?
Gotham by Gaslight.
Looks good.
Solid figure, in my opinion. Don't let the head hate.
Oh! Yeah, don't let the head hate. He didn't even notice. I love foreplay, so let's keep it going just for a little bit. So, Amazing Spider-Man. He has started shipping, not to everybody. It's just begun. So, keep your eye out on emails, and I'm sure that it'll start shipping out to whatever location that you are going. I've noticed that they've been shipping the multi-orders first, if you guys have noticed that. People ordering like 2, 3, 4 and up. The single orders, they seem to be going out a little bit later.
So
not
so
trying
one to
to
buy.
encourage them. Yeah. Somebody will say, "Oh, you're just trying to encourage multi-buys." No, I just noticed that. I thought it was gonna be
A little late now, right?
Yeah, and of course, so this. Let me make sure I stay on track. So this got put out, and the cycle keeps continuing. Of course, I saw some in-hand pictures. How do I say this? The person that took the picture, they don't have a lot of experience. There's nothing wrong with that. We talked about that before, right? We're just getting a preview of this. But what happens usually is people take those first couple of photos as gospel, and they start making jokes and say it sucks. Hey, totally on you. But I saw another picture, and I didn't include it. It was a little bit clearer, but a lot of people were saying the same thing. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. They didn't like. I think the biggest two things that I saw was the lights. I think the lights in the head actually light up the whole head, and some people were talking about that. And then also, the stitching in the back is a U shape. That's not anything new for the Spider-Man design. That's always been like that, except for like homemade. But that's pretty much standard. So I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that.
Reserving my judgment till I get him in hand.
Yeah, there you go, right?
They've also said that he too has a head that's too big, which it seems like it seems to be the low-hanging fruit comment on every comic figure that they're releasing. That these comic figures have heads that are too large.
Yeah.
Wait till they see Dick Tracy, right?
I'm biased. I thought it was fine. It's accurate to the comic, but even when you took the jacket off, I know I wouldn't myself biased. But like even when you took the jacket off and it was just the vest and the shirt, you can get like 3 looks out of that character. Even it looked proportionate. You know how like Constantine's head, when you took the jacket off, it kind of looked big. Some people would say that. But even some of that stuff is easily fit. You just take the head, put some sticky tack on it, raise it up a little bit. It's not as bad, but I guess that's just me. I still think it seems like no matter what figure comes out, there always has to be a complaint about it, no matter what.
Yeah.
Some guy, he messaged me, and he like had this list of stuff, and I said, "This is good feedback, man." I said, "But next time we talk, just tell me what you like about a figure. I really don't want to go through a list of shit that you hate."
Yeah.
No offense to you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to read a list of stuff that you hate. I'm not in development. I don't have any control over shit. So yeah, I think it's just a thing. He's shipping out and he's starting to go out. And speaking of shipping, CC, you just said it as well, right? It's probably snowing in your area. So just so you know, and to give perspective of everything, there's storms everywhere. So if you're not getting your shipment within a day, Just know that there's other things that are going on that kind of prevent those things from getting to you fast. Patience is key.
Yeah, like lazy ass plow trucks.
I know. That FedEx truck should just be shooting through 10 inches of snow to try to deliver that package that'll sit on your desk for 2 days to make sure it gets there on time.
Yeah. They should put plows on the front of the trucks and tires on their chains.
I know, yeah. And drive all night. Adam Showers, congratulations, sir. You just got an entry.
Damn.
It's biased, isn't it? Yeah. 112 day. Oh, there was 2 things people asked me to talk about. One of them was 112 day. So this is going on right now. Carryover from last week. You have until. Did I zoom in? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it didn't say it on there. It said it on there. And if you know me, if you watch the show, you know all of us try to keep things in line and keep it cohesive, and everything runs into each other, and there's a reason for it. So 112 day. I think this ends on the 21st. You can go to their official little blog and it'll tell you, but I'm pretty sure it's the 21st. All you have to do is you will take a picture and put 112 day in the hashtag. There was also another way for you to be able to enter this contest, but if you want, it's pretty much kind of like a random thing, and they'll probably pick a really good picture for the last one. But just like we said last show, they're going to give you 12 figures. It's a really nice list. It's a mixture of stuff that happened with them last year. But the one at the bottom says, tying this all in, an unreleased Mezco figure. I'm pretty sure they're talking about, we should have called this He Who Should Not Be Named Part 2. But I'm pretty sure that unreleased figure will most likely be Red-Eyed Knight. So for some people that are wondering about the wait list, here's an extra chance for you to try to get in on that. You never know. You might win. It's random. Did you guys enter or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably 100 more times now.
100 more times now? Just trying to heal the world, man.
Are you talking every picture or just the comment?
Well, what do you mean? Like, if you use
with the hashtag, or you can enter with a comment?
No, they did have some kind of guidelines for that. It was I had it on the thing. It said something like disclaimer said something like multiple entries will not be. Let me look it up real quick.
For the comment one, yeah, it was pretty sure it was one entry for the comment.
Yeah.
One comment per entry, and then I don't know if there was a limit on the photos, but
yeah, it was something like that. But if you use the 112 day, whatever it was, it's at the bottom. It says 112 day 2023 exclusive. They changed that. Before it was an unreleased figure, so they updated that. So it says, we know posing and photography aren't for everybody. So there's another way you can enter. Simply follow at Mezco on Instagram and comment with your favorite 112 collective figure in this post for a chance to win. Want double entries? Leave a comment and tag us in your 112 day hashtag 112 day photo. And I'm sorry, January 22nd. Show correction, not 21st. January 22nd, 2024 at 11:59 at night. There's your chance. So we got that. All right. Now we can get into the good stuff, right? Oh, Lord. Let's take a deep breath before we start this conversation. Context for somebody that's probably watching this and may not know what's going on. Do we need that or no?
No, you'd have to be under a rock to not know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So 112 day.
Here.
You don't think so?
No, I think that's why people are here to watch the drama unfold.
Yeah. But this is a little bit of a twist.
No drama, just good conversation.
Paige is throwing a red eye Gomez in the middle of the ring for me and Cece, and we got to fight to the death to see.
You can fight to the death.
You only got one.
Only one.
Yeah. A little bit of context. So this is the 1/12 2024 exclusive, right? Went up for pre-order. This thing lasted 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Depends on who you ask. I'm going with 7 minutes. So how do you approach this really?
What's the record?
Head on. That's how you approach it.
I have it. I have it. I have it on record. I'll tell you after the show. I don't want to do that. I don't do it. That shit starts floating around everywhere, and all of a sudden somebody figures it out. And some things you got to keep close to the chest. So Void Wars. We talked about this a little bit. $100. They had a stop motion that went up, and then I don't think a lot of people noticed it, but in the advertisement that they sent out with the email, it said limited exclusive. Here's the thing. I think people have gotten so conditioned when they see limited edition, and some of these pre-orders have been put up. They've lasted day, month, 2 months, right?
Yeah.
So I think people were kind of conditioned that they was going to last. One thing that I don't think a lot of people take into consideration is most of these have actually stayed under a day. And so that's why I think people kind of took like a lazy, not lazy, but laissez-faire, like, oh yeah, it'll be up a little bit later. And nobody really jumped on it. So let's start with that. What do you guys think about
nobody
that?
jumped on it because it sold out in 6 minutes. So,
right.
So a lot of bodies jumped on it. Enough bodies to sell out the quantity jumped on it.
Right. Let's start there. It was limited, very limited. It was advertised that it was very limited. It sold out very quickly. How do you feel about it?
MC?
Um,
I was trying to help you out by letting you go first.
yeah, I know.
If you're not ready, I'll go.
No, I mean, everybody's been saying, it's not just us. Limited quantities are going to start coming. They're not going to be manufacturing as much. People aren't buying as many figures as they were. I mean, it's all about choices right now. But honestly, I feel bad for like legit people that want it. I won't get into that topic yet, but the resellers and stuff like that. Like I know there's quite a few people that I'm really close to that weren't able to get the figure because, for whatever reason, work. That's a pretty good one. I know there's a couple of people that were working, and I just always like I never got that like, haha, I got it. You don't pay money for it. Like I really want people that really enjoy and want something to be able to get it and not get screwed and taken advantage of. I mean, that's my legit hot take on it. And I'm not playing it safe. That's really how I feel about it.
Yeah, I think, and we talked about that in the pre-show. Maybe we should just like take the gloves off on this one, just this one time. We'll do that. Not try to hurt anybody's feeling, but I think there's a lot of truth in some of these topics. So you made a really good point. First off, I think people need to separate some of the stuff that's going to be said tonight. Some of it is, how do you say this? There's a difference between the two. And I think I said this to you guys in the chat. Are you disappointed you missed it because you wanted it for your collection, or are you disappointed with it because you missed out on an opportunity to sell it? There's two different types of collectors. I'll be transparent and say, I don't feel bad for anybody that wanted this figure to resell it. I don't. I feel bad for people that genuinely wanted the figure.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go in the groups and you can see certain people and go, that person's a collector. I know how much they like the character. I feel bad for that person. You can also go through and you can see people's previous histories and say, that person, they do whatever. I'm not banging on anybody about that. That's your hustle. Totally cool. I don't feel bad for those people. For that kind of collector, I don't. I took them off first. You guys can go.
So I guess let me start by telling my story, right? And how this kind of went for me. So I saw the stop motion video the day before on Thursday. I'm off on Thursdays. It was great. So I watched the stop motion several times. I was really excited about the release. Unfortunately for me, Fridays where I work are very busy. And Fridays at 1 o'clock, especially, that's like the peak of business. Like it's not a good time for me, right? So I didn't get a chance to see any of the social media releases ahead of 1 o'clock to even let me know that there was 2 separate releases. So, so I didn't get online until about 1:15. I go to the Mezco site. And at that point, all I see is a pre-order for Rook. And then I think I even kind of commented in our group chat that, hey, they must be doing a second release later on, not realizing that I had already completely missed the main release.
Okay.
So that's how I missed it there, right? So not their fault. I have a job that keeps me busy. I guess it's kind of just what happens. Now, let me circle around, if you will. We talked last week about how this Void Wars thing to me seemed like a really big product, or not product run, I want to say, but it seems to be a key line that they're pushing, if you will, right? It doesn't really seem like this is something they're getting away from, and it's almost like they're putting more effort into try to world build this one than they've done some of the others, right? Like the Hazard Squad stuff, we've gotten a few figures. No villains at all for that one. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Might be, not thinking of something. And then, this one we've already gotten the Void Cadet. You've gotten a mech. Now you've got Red Eye, and now you've got Rook. So they've put some investment in that. And last week we were talking about how I would assume that Mezco, with this buildup, would make some of these figures more accessible. That way you'll have interest in the line moving forward. Right? So I fully expected, if there was going to be a release, for this to be one of those things where there would be plenty of product available for everybody. Because moving forward, they're going to want to sell you more of this stuff. They're going to want you to get other characters, other figures, other mech suits. I just got to imagine that when Mesco makes figures, you're kind of printing money. So I personally was very disappointed to see that you get a 6-minute sellout on a key character. And then now you got Rook that was up for pre-order for, I don't know how long.
He's still up.
Still up. So, I, for one, can't wrap my mind around why you would have the villain so readily accessible. And then you got your key hero that you either spent the $300 and got the whole mech suit, which a lot of people just didn't have room to make, right? Or you were fortunate enough to go to SDCC, where it was the only place you could get the single offering. And then now you get the Red Eye, which we all know is a spoof off of Jedi, right? We know how big the Star Wars following is, and the quantity sells out in 6 minutes. I just don't understand how the business model, to me, makes sense. So then it brings me to why would they do it, right? I don't really know. Part of me wonders if maybe they're a little concerned, since they have some properties that are kind of affiliated with, Lucasfilms and Disney Marvel type stuff. You know what I mean? To where they don't want to jeopardize moving this very closely related figure, which is obviously unlicensed, and then risking the business moving forward. Maybe they have to keep it under certain numbers. I don't know. But to me, if you do have to keep it under certain numbers, I don't understand why push it so hard, right? I kind of look at it as like we did with the Pink Skulls. Pink Skulls were so big, and they were using Pink Skulls to market almost every figure that you bought there for a while. And they circled back around, though it did take a while, right? At one point, Pink Skulls were going for $1,200. I remember. you know, God bless anyone who fell into that trap and paid $1,200 for their OG Pink Skull set. Because then they did finally back around and they give you a couple other offerings to kind of allow you to get in, right? I just don't get it. Will they come back to it? I gotta imagine they would. Mm-hmm. Will it be too late? I think for some collectors it will. Because what I will say is, because of this, I did not pre-order Rook. I'm not going to do it. Because to me, it makes no sense. And I am not going to pay the aftermarket price for what this figure is going for. Not doing it. There's no way you couldn't. There's no way. $500, $600, all these crazy prices these things are going for. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. You got to be patient. Lone Roach was the last offering I could think of that was similar to this. Mm-hmm. And it took me almost 2 years before I finally got one within my price range that I was willing to pay. Mm-hmm. And it was nowhere near what it was going for originally. Less than half of what the secondary market was. So, in my opinion, I think when you have releases like this, Mezco is selling themselves short. Because I got to imagine Rook is going to sit there on pre-order queue for a long time. Because who wants one if you can't get the Gomez to go with it? I don't want a Rook display. I don't think anybody wants just a Rook display. Mm-hmm. Right? It's crazy to me. So I think, in my opinion, like I said, it's just my opinion. I think when you have something like this, I think you got to be a little more forthcoming with the release instead of, a post on Instagram or whatever, 2 hours before it goes live. That way people could be prepared. If at the end of that stop motion, they would have said, these 2 offerings, this one's going to be limited, then it probably would have sold out in 1 minute instead of 6. But I guess maybe then I would have known. But in my opinion, to make the key hero so limited, I just don't. Other than feeding the secondary market, it just doesn't make any business sense at all. Because they're going to make more money off these figures than Mezco did. Yeah. I'll step off my soapbox for a minute. I could go on for this for a long time.
I know, and that's why I was saying this has a lot of layers, and that's another reason why I started off with the limited edition thing. I don't think a lot of people honed in on that. There was an email, and I'm not taking it from because and I'll show you. I see both sides of it, so just bear with me because somebody's going to be, oh, here comes Paige in defender mode. I know there was an email because I had it and I saved it. Of course, I didn't put anything, but you can also see on the solicitation it does say limited edition. But I also know everyone's conditioned, especially like the last year and a half, that there is availability.
When was the email sent? That was the same day, right?
Hold on, let me pull up. So it's almost like a teacher thing. And like I said, everybody's hyper focused on a lot of stuff. You're like, this is coming out, I just got to get it. But a lot of people are probably like, I have time, because we are conditioned to do that. But on the website, and I'm not saying anybody's wrong. All I'm doing is just pointing stuff out. So on here, let me do it down at the bottom. They put it on the website that, let me get rid of this again, because somebody will probably say this is defending, and this is, because I want to get to some of the stuff that you're talking about too, because there's some really good points that I agree with you on. And I'm not pushing you off to the side, MC. I definitely want to get in there. No. So on the site, and in the email, there's a tagline on there that says it is limited.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Right. And at the bottom, and like I said, it's at the bottom and it's small, but it says limited supply available, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that everybody's so conditioned, because most of these things, they only last a day. That's what the average has been, right? I'm not giving this as an excuse. I'm just saying that if you were to mention this to somebody, they would say, yeah, this is there. It says limited supply. I agree with you on the fact that it probably would take people out of the line because you're taking a key character out. But
Yeah.
here's something that I'm wondering. You mentioned the pink skulls. We've been through this also with Krieg, right? The
Yeah.
red ones weren't available for anybody, and this kind of ties into the stuff that you remember when I put that picture up, the 2023 thing.
Yeah.
And I'll put the post up and I'll say this is how much it costs. People are like, oh yeah, okay. These are all the figures that came out. People are, yeah, okay. I think that photo really had a lot of impact because people said, oh shit, that's all the figures.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if we're in this space right now with that. We're going through it, just like you did with Pink Skulls. Remember OG Pink Skulls? They're never going to make it. And then they make another set. And then they make another set after that. I'm wondering if we're in this moment right now and everybody obviously is in their feelings about it and it sucks because you missed a character, but people have already alluded to this in the comments. And it's another double-headed dragon you got to battle. What if this offering comes out a little bit later, but it's with a mech suit? Or what if they do a split offering because they
Once
took
again, to
this
me, that's another slap.
It is? You think?
Yeah, because I had an offering for a mech and I passed on it because I don't want a mech.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't have room for it in the collection. I already sold my Thunder Tank. It's gone. I never even opened the box.
Right.
I don't need this larger than life accessory for $350.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All I need is just the one figure to kick Rook's ass, and then I'm good to go. It's pretty simple. The email, it was sent on the 12th,
Mm-hmm.
which, they did say that on the 12th, but like I said, on the 12th, I'm busy. Right? I didn't get any type of communications or anything. Like the last time we all talked about this offering is, we were thinking, oh man, it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a 2-pack. That's kind of what we were all thinking. This is gonna be a 2-pack. And
Mm-hmm.
At that point I'm thinking, okay, well, if it's a 2-pack, it's probably not gonna sell real quick because it's gonna be a little pricey, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any. Like I said, I didn't even know that there was the separate offering had gone up until I did see the email and it said limited supplies. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm screwed at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But, like I said, for me, and I'm sure I'm different than everybody, look, I'm not a completionist. For those that collect that way, I really feel for you because that's got to be tough to keep up. But I'm not a completionist. I buy the things that I like. If something isn't accessible to me, I'm willing to do without.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm willing to do without. It is what it is. But so let's say in 8 months' time they come back and they make that one available as a single release.
Right.
Well, then it really boils down to me was, well, can I still pick up Rook at a decent price?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can't pick up Rook at a decent price, and because he was left up for pre-order for 6 weeks or however long this thing sits, they're not going to give you another offering. Then I'm still not going to buy it because I'm not going to spend my time backtracking and spending and paying aftermarket prices.
So
I'm not that guy.
So because of this situation, you're totally taken out of that line, collecting the line.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I won't be doing the Void War stuff unless for some reason, somehow, they make those figures accessible. But the odds of them making, Void Cadet and now Red Eye and then another offering for Rook later on, that's probably not going to happen, in all honesty. I don't really see them backtracking and releasing, all 3 offerings again, along with everything else that they've got in the pan. We're, 2 weeks into January, and how many offerings have we had already?
3.
You know what I mean? Like, you do the math on that, it's 6 offerings a month for 12 months. 72 Mezco figures is a huge, huge undertaking. Huge undertaking. So,
even though thinking about it hypothetically, because most people are on this track of it was limited, maybe it'll get released later on, and I know you don't agree with that. And then some people talk about this maybe attached to a mech suit, even if there's a possibility that they split the two and offer it then with or without the mech suit. That's not good. So damage control wise, do you think it would have been better if they put this out and it went limited? It sold out because they advertised that it was sold out. Do you think it would have been better and you would have had a better result and instill customer confidence if they came out and they said, you know what, we know that this sold out. Because you don't want to tip your hand too much, but you can see how much impact this has on the community in real time. If you say, hey, we know that it sold out, some people are disappointed. Guess what? Don't worry. Don't feed into some of these other things. You will see this character a little bit later. It might be a different version, but you're going to see this character later. Do you think that would have helped out or no?
Well, for one, for me personally, like if they wanted to save my interest in this line at all, they would have to really make that. Okay, like we're going to use Vapor for an example. You know, that first offering of Vapor that sold out really quick. And then they did a pre-order, right, for a second run.
Right.
It took, I think, 6 or 8 months to get that second run in, but it gave everyone the perfect opportunity that missed out to go ahead and pick it up. But they did that pre-order almost immediately after that offering sold out, right?
Yeah.
So if Mezco lets this Olamu Rook pre-order close and then says, oh, by the way, we're going to be offering, you know, this one later on, I personally, it's just going to piss me off more.
No, I mean Red Eye Knight.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like if they let this pre-order, because like I said, I didn't order Olamu Rook because I'm not going to order the villain if I can't get the hero.
Right.
Right. I'm not going to do it. So if that pre-order closes, and then you say, okay, we're going to give people that missed out a chance for Red Eye later on. I at this point I'm still out because, like I said, I'm not going to, because I can already tell you what happens. We all know people play the market, right? There are people that are ordering extra rooks just hoping that there's going to be renewed interest, and then they're going to try to flip them to subsidize their collection, right? I'm not here to subsidize anybody's collection. That's because I'm not that guy. I'm not going to help you pay for it. I'm not that guy. So I'm completely content just sitting out and just, hey, the Void Wars line, it's a nice looking line. It's going to be something I'm going to miss out on. It is going to be what it is. But I will not backtrack and pick up this stuff on the secondary market. I won't do it. There's no way.
Okay, let's I don't want to keep MC out of this. What are your thoughts on this?
I was lucky. I mean, I had availability to go and pre-order it, and I even feel bad talking about it knowing my friend missed out. So
no, but it's good because it shows different perspectives about it. Because obviously your mentality is going to change about it if you have it, as opposed to. That's why I wanted to have this. You know, CC was giving his side of it. I mean, so it's both. You know,
I hope they do. Like, I mean, there's so many people that I see in the comments there. That's what I'm reading is people that really missed out that I know would do great things photography wise. People that do it for the love of the line, and you know, just like I said, I got quite a few requests from people. Hey, did you pick up more than one? Can you help me out? Blah blah blah. And it just like, I don't know. I just wish that everybody got the opportunity to get it. That, you know, put it back up for pre-order. It's odd though that the wait list is still open right now. Like that to me is telling that something is going to happen. I don't. Maybe I'm being too optimistic. I don't know. But I just looked online right now, and it's still open as we speak. And I hope people jumped on it that wanted it. And I understand that. You know where CC's coming from. You know, you have, you know, anybody that's read the Void Wars comics. You know, like this is the two of the three main in that comic. The other guy, you know, what's going to happen with him? I don't know. But I mean, if they throw it out with a mech suit, of course I'd get that too because I'm sure it'll have cool repaints and stuff. And Sawyer, why not? Sawyer needs another mech suit in his room, like he needs a hole in the head. But keep him off YouTube. So. But it just, I don't like these. I've never been a big fan of like these rare releases, these rare, you know, these limited drops. I've never really been a fan of it, just based on people that really want it for the love. And I've never been a fan of scalp game at all. Like And we can look at history. Tell me when I've ever sold anything, and if I have, I mean, you guys know I've done stuff for you guys, of course, and other friends. When have I ever even come to
you at all?
What's that?
So anyone that accuses you of scalping doesn't know you at all.
Right. Like, I mean, I've given stuff away at less than what I've even paid for something, you know, just because whatever reason, you know, like it just, I don't know, that shit just like pisses me off legit, you know. And if we're gonna throw the gloves off, you know, like it's fucking raffles, like get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry. Like $600, like same people that bitch about eBay scalpers and everything else, and it's just, and I'm not. It's just, it's fucked up. I don't know. And say free market, say whatever you want. I don't give a shit. You can argue with me online. You can block me. You can fucking talk shit. I don't care. Like, but that's just shit. You're taking advantage of somebody, and it's not cool. And I get if you have an unlimited supply of money and you want to feed into that, then so be it. I mean, it's just my opinion. It doesn't count for shit, but just my hot take. So
yeah, that's why I bring up the point about being in this moment right now. You said the wait list is up, and I don't know. I just don't know if this is the route that they're trying to go with it. I think that there might be an opportunity for this to happen later, because just like Cece said, when you have this character that's integral, I mean, even by looking at the photos, that's an integral part of this storyline. I don't know why it wouldn't be readily available, and that's why I'm holding out hope, especially for other collectors that do want it, that there'll be another opportunity. That's why I posed the question if this was offered later on. I think communication-wise, I think it would help. I don't like seeing people going to measures or extremes that makes you feel bad about collecting, because it's a snowball effect. And we can all be honest about this too. It's not going to get, I don't know, very carefully. It's not going to get the blame won't be put on the means of the way to get it, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody is selling this for whatever amount that they want to sell it for, and that's their prerogative, if somebody buys it, that blame is still going to be put on the company because they had to go outside the means. And that's what I mean about the communication part. Maybe it helps if you jump ahead of this and you say, hey, this is going to come out again. That way you don't have some of these people carrying some of this burden. And then also they're not in the know. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to lose your customer fan base. I'm not in the office. I don't know what they're doing with it, but you do miss out on an opportunity to have somebody say, I was going to pick this up. Now I'm not going to pick it up. And then you run into the backtracking thing, and it's just this vicious cycle of saying, now I got to pay aftermarket for this other, just like you said. So somebody mentioned something else. I wanted to talk about this too, the limited quantity set.
Okay. Hey, I had one more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Please. Yeah,
but
please.
For people that are scalping and shit like that, you claim you're part of a collecting community. That's bullshit. You're not part of a you're like some fucking, it's not part of a community. You're not helping anybody. You're helping yourself. And like, to me, community, like community takes care of itself. Like takes care of everybody in the community. Maybe I'm in the sky ideal, and I understand there's like little facets of community where this guy sells his haircuts for more money or whatever, but it's fucked up. I don't know. I'm done now. I'm off my soapbox.
Well, with that, do you think that I don't agree with bashing prices, but the position is because you can't dictate what the value is of something. But that's just me, and that's an admin thing, It's to make it fair. Do I agree with it? I don't agree with it. I've caught the shit into the stick with figures, and I've had to pay those high prices. I don't like it. I understand it. I don't agree with it, and I don't like it. So how do you curb that?
How do I do it? I don't follow those people. You know, usually a lot of them get blocked, honestly. People that known scalpers and shit like that. I mean, we may joke. Well, I shouldn't say that. Sorry. I don't
that cap the sale of releases. I was in one of them. I can't remember which line it was, but they had like a set cap of when a figure is released, you couldn't mark it up more than I think it was like 50% of the retail cost. If you did, you couldn't list it in that group. I really wish I could remember which line that was that did that. But I thought it was very interesting that they were kind of dictating the price. In a way, by doing that, you're protecting collectors from themselves. Because we talked about this a little bit earlier. We talked about it. Like if someone were to come and offer me 3 times what I paid for my car right now, I'm not going to say to that person, hey, you know what? That's not what this car is worth. I'm going to take what they offered me, right, and go get another car and then have plenty left over, right? I'm going to do that. If you offer me that, that's what I'm going to do. Right. But that's where we as collectors have to know how to spend our own money selectively and not support or encourage the behavior. Because you can't, you know, this old thing, don't hate the player, hate the game, right? Right. I hate the game. And that's what it boils down to. I really hate the game. It's no different than when you have these figures sometimes in other lines where someone will pay extra to get the release first, right? And even though we know it's coming in 3 months because it hasn't even been released at retail yet, you'll have people that'll pay 10 times retail value just so they can say they got it first, right? And then to your point, as far as talking about Mezco with the communication, I could only imagine how the folks that paid out the nose for that OG set felt when you got those other releases. And then especially the one that kind of came with everything that was just kind of a modernized OG set, you know? Right. We saw how the prices of that went from $1,200. I think I saw it as high as $1,600 at one point, right? To I picked up an OG set for $3. It was below retail when I picked mine up. Yeah. Right? So I feel really bad. And I really think that Mezco could have probably helped some collectors by saying, hey, you know what? Be patient. We got something coming down. You don't even have to tell us what. But just say, hey, you know what? Be patient, right? Don't be an aftermarket sucker, or however that line is they used to say it. We got something coming. Right? Because if you release statements like that, it's going to help hold that secondary market price in check, because I can't hold your feet to the coals if you know help is coming. Right. Because you're going to be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm not paying you 5 times retail. I know another one's coming. I'll wait.
That's the reason why I mentioned it, but it's almost, when we talk about this stuff, it's improvements and things that could help later on, and it's still things that can happen. And that's kind of the reason why I opened it, because with the whole we're in the now thing, because this has happened before. They've given examples like when Toy Fair, this is the first time that they released Agent Gomez, and people were just snatching that stuff up. And it sold out quick. I was there, I had it in my bag, and I had somebody offer me $1,000 for it at the show. And then I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. And then I went and talked to them, and they said, yeah, we're posting something right now about it. And that's very fast, real-time action. That's why I brought it up, because it has happened before, because when they did Agent Gomez Toy Fair, right afterwards, they followed up with the comic book version. And the reason why I say the in the now, in the moment thing is because we've had histories of these offerings like Krieg, Pink Skulls, where they do come later. And that's why I wanted to get your thoughts on, is it still too late, even though there's that tradition? I still think communication probably would have been a good way to handle it if they're going that route. I don't know if they're going that route, but it helps calm some of that stuff. Like communication is always, I think in that sense, when we talk about communication with delays, I think that actually helps. I don't think it helps with delays. People are always going to complain about it. they're going to say
that does fix the problem.
It doesn't.
I think it's one of the few times I think where communication would fix the problem, right?
Yeah.
But once again, it's one of these things where if you're going to have the communication, it has to be timely.
Right.
Because, like I said, if the Rook pre-order closes and then they say, hey, well, guess what? We're going to have these down the road. You know what? Okay, well, at that point is kind of the way I feel about it. Now, I'm not up here saying I'll never buy another Mezco figure. That would be a bald-faced lie.
You're not?
It's not turned me off to the line, right? But I wouldn't buy a Void Wars character moving forward because, like I said, I know me, and it would always probably irritate my soul if every time I looked over there on a shelf and I see Rook and there's a spot not next to him, right? That's going to just irritate me to the point where I'm sure I wouldn't enjoy the figure. And if I'm not getting any enjoyment out of it, there's no sense in me having it.
Right.
I'm not worried about that one at all, but it wouldn't take any planning. I guess here's my thing. And like I said, we talked about this last week.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Make a Star Wars related character, knowing how big and how popular Star Wars is, and knowing how big and how popular Gomez is in the community, and think for a moment, hey, let's just make a couple. Right? Like, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall when that conversation happens. And who in the world said, you know what? Yeah, that's probably going to be enough. And then to say, you know what? Let's take the villain and let's just have that be an open pre-order. And that way everyone can get all the villains they want. Well, you're never going to want more villains than what you sold in characters. Like, I don't understand why you would ever think that, okay, we sold 1,200 of these. We're going to need 4,500 Rooks. That doesn't make any sense to me.
So do you think, and Empty, I'm not trying to glaze over. I want to get you in. Do you think that maybe some of the feedback that has been floating on the boards, that they kind of took this opportunity to say, okay, let's cut down the production number on something? Because most of the time you'll see something like people say, oh, another Gomez character. They're focusing on their IP too much. And this is a big one too. Let's talk about limited really quick. So I've seen a lot of people say, and this is where the difference is between what kind of collector you are. Are you collecting because you want to collect the line, or are you collecting because you want to sell it? I've seen a lot of people say the limited exclusivity of figures are a thing of the past. So do you think that they took this moment and said, okay, let's make something truly limited to satisfy those people that keep saying there aren't any limited characters anymore?
I guess my question to that would be, as a business model, how does exclusivity help you?
Hype.
Right?
It draws it. It's just like anything. When people know that there's something limited, they want to have it because it is limited. Not a lot of people have it. But even if it
is, though, right? Like if I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to make this figure limited. So I'm going to make 250 of them. Right? They're going to sell out in 2 minutes. Or I could have sold 1,500 of them, and maybe it took me 2 weeks to get rid of all of them. But as a business, which one did more for your business? Right? I'm not going to talk about what I do for a living or anything like that, but I always complain about the company all the time because we'll do certain things and we'll have like really limited numbers and then they'll sell out real quick. Well, you know what? It didn't move the business needle at all because there wasn't enough product to move the needle. You got to sell numbers in order to make profit. Right? It's like simple math to know that, hey, if I'm going to sell 3,000 figures at $100 a piece versus 750 figures at $100 a piece, I'm going to sell the 3,000.
Right.
Now, if for some reason I don't have enough confidence in my product to think that I can sell them, and that's kind of why I really wonder, like, who was kind of thinking behind it? Because as soon as you make anything Star Wars related, it's going to be a hit. You slap a cloak and a lightsaber in anything's hand, you're going to sell them like hotcakes. Like, we know that.
Right.
We know that. And I can't think of the last Gomez figure that sat around that they couldn't move. We literally had a steel worker Gomez, right? We literally, and that figure sold. We've never seen a character like that before. Nothing. So even if you use that as your baseline, and then as soon as you tie in something that's anywhere near Star Wars related, if you know anything about your market, you know it's going to be huge. You know, you took the time to do a stop motion video for it. We built up all this hype. This is 112 day. And to me, it's dangerous. And I don't know why you would even want to even do that. Because for those that missed out, now what's your feeling about 112 day? Right? There's not a lot of excitement or hype about 112 day because the big offering wasn't really an offering for everybody. And then even if, okay, you said, all right, we're doing the limited numbers, why in the world would you not do the limit of 1 per person like we would do any other time you have something that's ultra limited? Like I just don't get that part of it. But communication is going to be real key because you figure we're 4 days away from it now at this point. I'm sure Rook's pre-order is going to be closing. And I know I can't be the only one that feels like, well, I'm just not going to mess with that part of the line and forego it. And if they do like they did with the Red Creeks, we saw the anger after that one, right?
Right.
I literally, when they announced that 2-pack up for sale, I had a guy sell me 4 Red Pacific ones for $45 each because he was pissed. Everybody thought it was a scam at first. This guy can't be serious. But he had paid, the $200 to $300 a piece to get these because they were limited. And then Mezco turned around and then re-released it with no communication. This guy sold me $800 worth of figures for $180. Worked out for me, right? Because like I said, I'm not paying secondary market prices. But for those that did, and then you didn't have any communication and then just have a surprise drop one day, I think that's kind of like really doubling down. And now you've really kind of compounded the injury. So at this point, if Mezco wants to save it, you got to save people from themselves right now and say, hey, the reason why the wait list is open, we're gauging interest. If there's enough on there, we're going to re-release it. Let people know. Don't leave me hanging and then wait until I've spent $180 with a chance to try to win one and still not got anything. And then to find out that later on I could have just waited and got one for $100.
Yeah, that's why I asked you if it would make any impact if they did put that out.
It would have
with
to be
Gomez. Yeah, with Gomez, they did it they did it within an hour of when it happened. And I really think that helps. Like you said, I don't think you have to like play your whole hand, but I think it helps people make better decisions, and it also reassures people what they might have to do. Because you don't want to take people out of it. That's why I made the suggestion about the communication part.
Just an email that says, hey, don't worry, collectors. A similar offering will be available later. Right? It doesn't have to be an identical offering. If you wanted to make this one a little more limited, if you want to offer me a second one that may be missing something that this one's got, all right, I'm cool with that, right? Change the accessories, if you will. All right, I'm cool with that, right? Give me the blue-eyed knight further on down the road, if what it is, But say now that there's going to be, hey, collectors, there's going to be a similar offering later on, right? Don't be a secondary market sucker. Cool. That tells me right there, hey, you know what? I'll wait. And then that tells the flippers, oh, shit, you know what? I can't get $500 for this. I better sell him for whatever I can get for him now. Because the market's going to drop. But just to sit around and then wait for a simple communication. Like I said, I don't need an essay. I don't need to know. I don't need a promo pic of what the offer is going to be. Send me an email that just says, hey, in the near future, there's going to be another offering. Don't panic. The void is returning. cool. Let me go ahead and pre-order my Rook now, and then I'll pick up the other one later on.
Mhm.
But in the meantime, I'm not doing it. I haven't looked at Rook again. I haven't thought about Rook again. Rook will not be in my collection.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot to digest. Yeah. MC, what do you think? Parts that he talked about or thoughts that you have on it?
I agree.
Am I looking forward to Spider-Man? Yes, I am. So I haven't turned off. I'm waiting on Spider-Man. I've moved forward.
What do you got? MC, what do you got?
I can't. He's right. I mean, like, there's no counterpoint or no. He's right. Communication should be out there. I mean, I feel bad. Like, I feel terrible that one of my good friends didn't get it. You know, like, because he's busy doing what he has to do so he can afford. You know, so he can work. You know, so he can enjoy the hobby. Like, that's the shitty thing, because I know. You know, we obviously know CC very well. We know he works his ass off. He works very hard, and we enjoy, like, seeing CC when he's stressed out at work versus seeing CC when he gets to enjoy his figures and stuff. It's really, like, I mean, it's not like you're, you know, I mean, like, you're in your happy place, and it's nice, you know, like, I'm glad when you get those moments to enjoy stuff, and it just really, it just sucks. It really, especially when I see the fucking post after post of scalping and the eBay bullshit, and it's just like, that just makes me not happy. So, and I know there's, you know, like I said, there's other guys in the chat that I know have missed out on. I'm not gonna call them out by name or anything like that, but, you know, people that take great photos and, you know, like, yeah, like, give the people a chance to get it. And like Paige said, though, I really think that, I don't know, it's just odd that the wait list, I mean, when have you ever seen a wait list for such a hot item last so long?
I don't know. I wait listed Lone Roach. That wait list that wait list was up for a long time.
Yeah, I still have my order for that. I still have my, it's in, if you go back to page, I think it's like page 2 or 1.
But when did it close out to sold out? I mean, that's what I don't know.
I can't remember if it has but I know that I still have it, and it listed on my thing that it's waitlisted. It doesn't mean that it's ever going to come back or anything like that. But you know, one of the things that I like about this conversation is it shows you can have a discussion while it would, like, it has to be like venomous or vitriol or reduced to this company sucks, I hate them, fuck this, I'm out of this line. You know, obviously there's something that can be learned from it. And I think that's the most important thing, is to flag those kinds of things and say, yeah, because your customer base is important. I do wonder the direction. I personally still have hope that this is part of something bigger, and it's only because of what they've done in the past. You know, I know somebody mentioned about the limited edition thing, and somebody back in the day, it's an old Mezco fabled tale about somebody had bought a ridiculous amount of classic Punishers and pretty much cleaned any kind of opportunity anybody ever really had to get that figure. And I think that was attached to this one. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and he said, yeah, just like you had mentioned about why didn't they put a cap on it if it was so limited? And this is one of those in the moment things. I honestly don't think that it was like that. I don't think somebody came in, and I mentioned this in the group, I don't think somebody came in and bought 500 of these. If you look at the timetable, it's just too quick. Like, you literally had enough time to get on the site, look at it, finalize your payment, hold up your arms if you did get it, and then by that time it was done. And most people were clicking to buy. I don't think anybody had the time to, like, look at something and go, you know what, there's no limit on this. Let me buy 500 of these. And then, honestly, who really has the financial means to really do that right now?
Not a lot. You know what I mean?
Not a lot.
I'm sure not a lot. But I can guarantee you there's some folks out there that bought 6 to 12. I
Yes.
don't guarantee that. And you're going to see those folks when they get them because they're going to be bold enough to post that picture. You know, we've all seen it where you've got 6 of them and they'll say something, oh, ended up with this many by accident, you know, $450 a piece, just trying to get back what I put in, you know, that kind of shit, you know, they do that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, I do think it's going to be very few as opposed to what it usually is. Like I know collectors who are really deep into this line and who would buy 5 or 6. I didn't see those people and they were still able to get 1 or 2. I didn't see those individuals doing that. And we've already seen people that got it in hand. That's a huge flex for people that do that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you would already see it. Somewhere.
Unless they're selling the
eBay.
singles out first. The full cases might be coming out later.
Yeah, I just think it's very small. There's that in that 6 minutes, that's a lot of thinking. And a lot of people don't do that, to be honest with you. You're so focused on trying to get the figure.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's not a lot. I'm sure
it's not a lot.
I'm sure it's not a lot. But I'm sure there's some guys that the ones that do the normal numbers and the normal flipping, those guys, they did theirs. I'm sure they did.
Okay, well, let's talk about that right now. What's something that we can learn about that? MC, because we kind of like glaze over it. Like, what's something that I know you went off on it a little bit earlier, but what's something that I don't even know how to say it. What's the proper way to handle that?
Flippers?
I don't use that stuff. I just say aftermarket. So I don't like the word. I don't like the S word. I've never used. Never used it. I just don't like it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
not because I'm advocating for somebody to do it. I'm just saying I just don't like it. But like people who sell over retail, what do you think about that, and what should the community do or say about it?
It's based on demand. People are buying it. People are going to sell it. So don't give into it. Be strong. You know, like that's how you can. And it's hard. You know, especially if you're a collector and you really identify with a piece. Don't give them their $500. Wait. I mean, if people tell them no and pack sand, then there's not going to be raffles like we're seeing right now. I mean, yeah, that's a cheap way to get it, Gomez. You know, like spend $20, $30 or whatever, you get somehow magically lucky. Get your number drawn. I mean, that's a hell of a gamble. And if you're into that, then you got pretty lucky. But I know there's people that spent more than that on trying to get it, spent way over retail, and they didn't win. And it's like they just gave their money away. So,
well, let's say because this has been part of collecting forever. It's something that's not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to point out is what can the community do within that space to kind of have more of a stance on it. It's easy to tell somebody don't support it. And I use that line all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've missed out on a character, like you said, and like I said, you can see how many layers there are to this whole, issue. When you miss out on a character that you really wanted, it's hard to tell somebody don't spend that money. Especially when there is a limited tag that's put on it. Your ego gets involved in it. You're wanting to collect. I tried to really put myself out of this position and say, what would I have done if I missed out on this figure? I remember when I missed out on the Black Skull's Death Brigade. That thing for some. I remember. Was I talking to you guys about it? I missed it. I just totally missed it. The internet service was bad, and I was like, this sucks. And I know I'm not like everybody else, and people wouldn't handle the same situation. But for me, I was like, what do I do to solve this problem? I need to try to get it. I want to complete my collection. And my mind was more focused. Okay, I'll sell this. I'll do this. I'll do this. And so I put myself in that mentality. If I would have missed this, how would I have felt? And I remember how I felt about the Black Skull's Death Brigade. I was like, it sucked. I missed it. What do I got to do to do it? And that's what I mean about the whole money thing. Somebody's going to get locked in on that. And so it's hard tell people don't feed into it, even though I've said it. But it's really hard to tell somebody that.
I think somebody said it earlier too. Is you know, I didn't expect it. I didn't read the limited offering or whatever. I just, you know, added a cart, checked out, gone, done. You know, and the next thing you know, like a little bit later, I don't know. I went and did some stuff at work, and within 5 or 10 minutes, I think I was texting you or something, and like it's sold out already. I'm like, how? What? You know, like I was just, my mind was just blown by it because it's been so long since something is sold out so quick. And I think almost have to go back to what somebody said earlier. You know, get a buddy, and you know, like, hey, I'll, you know, whoever gets on, order an extra or whatever. You know, like. I know that's hard because, you know, like if I were to text, yeah, I mean, like CC, you know, he said, for example, you know, 1 o'clock is busy time for him, you know, like you don't have time to look and see what's going on the Mezco site. He probably doesn't have time to respond to a text to me like, no, I didn't get it, or hey, grab it for me, you know, like I think
that kind of comes in where the timely communication falls in, right? Like they sent that email on Friday saying it was going to be limited numbers. But at that point, you know, we had already kind of had our conversations about the item. We didn't get a chance to talk about it on Friday. If after this stop motion was released, and they would have then sent out an email saying, you know, void cadet release, limited numbers, then collectors can kind of get together and say, hey, you know what, man, 1 o'clock is not a good time for me. You know, could you buy 2 if you're free, and I'll hit you back? Because the last thing you want to do is just start buying random ones just in case somebody needs one, and then everybody scores it, right? Like you don't want to run into that type of situation. But if you know ahead of time, then you can kind of plan ahead and work those connections. Because, you know, I do know people that would buy one, you know, for me if I needed them to. I know you guys are some of those people, but I didn't know, you know, far enough in advance to plan ahead.
Right.
So, you know, sometimes, look, we know Mesco is a company that doesn't like to communicate. We know that, right? We've talked about it. You know, it's like beating a dead horse. But there are some times, like, so when it comes to delays, things like that, I could care less, right? It's already paid for, it's pre-ordered. I don't really need to know ahead of time. But I don't miss the old days of these surprise drops that sell out in 6 or 7 minutes. And then you just, you know, SOL. That was, to me, that was kind of the old Mezco. I really thought they had kind of listened to everyone, and we had seen increased production numbers. You know, if this is a sign of the way that these things are going to come moving forward, I would really encourage people to get used to not having, right? Because if you're a person that has to have it, this is going to get expensive. And if you've got the money for that, more power to you, right? If you can afford not only to, you know, they're going to have 40 regular releases at $100 a piece this year, that's $4,000. And if you have to buy 10 more regular releases at double, there's another $2,000, you know. I can't even really justify spending that kind of money on figures that I'm squeezing time to even hang out with, right? I've got figures now that I've had for months and have touched for several minutes. So I'm not going to do that. But I would really encourage people, because at the end of the day, we set the market when it comes to the aftermarket. And honestly, we set the market when it comes to retail, because if they set it too high and we don't pay it, you know what? Things have to change, right? McFarlane raised their prices, and they're talking about this $35 and $40 or whatever. People are balking at that, right? It's going to hurt them. They're probably going to have to change their direction on that, because at the end of the day, it's the consumer that has all the control. But you can't just do it and then complain about it later on, because we do know that Mezco does have a habit of then turning around and releasing something later on. So if you pay $1,000 for Red Eye now, and then he gets released without the cloak for $85 in 4 months, don't be upset when all of a sudden your Red Eye that you bought for $1,000 is now worth $350. Because
that's why
they release a similar item, and we saw it with the OG Skulls, right? When they released that second one, it wasn't even an identical offering, and the market price for that one dropped less than half, just because there was a similar offering available and people knew, hey, I don't have to pay $900 for this set. I can get this one for $3.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. But be smart about your money and just know what you're getting yourself into when you do those kind of things. For one, I don't collect as an investment. I know there are some people that do that. They buy limited because the whole idea is they want to buy something now, and then it's going to be more money down the road.
Right.
I buy my figures. I play with them. I usually turn around and sell them for far less than what I've got into it. If the missus ever heard about it, she'd probably be upset. But
watch out. MC probably got a recorder right now.
There's not an investment in my basement. You know what I mean? Like I buy the stuff. I play with it. I have a good time with it. When I no longer enjoy it, then I'll let it go. Or once I finally run out of room and I need to make room for new stuff, then I'll let it go. But I'm not a collector for the investment. I'm an collector because I enjoy it, have a good time. It's an escape for me when I have all the stress at work. Come home, take some photos, have a good time. To me, that's what it's all about. I'll stop.
No, keep going.
Don't stop. Get it.
I believe the kids say, let them cook. No, it's good. It's good conversation, man. And I think it's information that everybody needs to hear because there's nuggets in there for all parties.
Yeah.
Not only just for Mezco, but collectors and then also community members. I think that you hit on something, and I feel bad. I know MC feels bad about it too, but I don't think we had a lot of time to really like work something out so we could cover each other. Do you know what I mean? Having a collector buddy helps out a lot. We talked about it on the show, but none of us had the foresight that this was going to happen. And I think if we did, in hindsight, we could do the little Tang the Conqueror thing. I'm pretty sure I said, yo, do you want this CC or not?
Yeah.
There's not going to be a limit. Let me get it for you or something like that. And but I think this is something as far as a collector, that's something everybody can learn from. Because next time people will be a little bit more prepared, even though there is this sour taste right now with it. Do you think this was intentional?
That's the part that I would love to know, Paige, because it just doesn't seem like, once again, we talked last week about how big of a hit this Void Wars thing was, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how long did it take for the mech suit to sell? It wasn't long. It was 6 hours?
I don't know. Let me go to the Toy Paige really quick. I can check for you.
If I remember right, the mech suit at $3 to $350 or whatever it was, with no warning, a surprise drop, and it sold out that quickly. If there was ever an indicator on popularity, that should be one, right? And then you turn around and you've got this SDCC Void Cadet, and it sells out relatively quickly. And the aftermarket values on that thing, have it really dipped below $200. You get the occasional listing where somebody has them for about $150, and you better snatch them up quick if you see them for that, right?
Right.
But for the most part, it's around the $200. You invested the time as a company to produce a comic, right? Which couldn't have been cheap. You spent a lot of time on. So you invested the personal time, and I don't understand why you just wouldn't, and then in turn, make all of these figures relatively available. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So you figure your first one, you could only either get it if you went to SDCC or bought it with the mech, like we said before. Right. And then now kind of the second offering, if you will, even though he's nothing like the first one, other than the logo, is extremely limited numbers. I just don't understand that. Now, if you say, okay, well, you know what? All press is good press. Maybe, maybe you could make that argument, but I don't think I'm the only person out there that's going to say, look, I think there's far more people out there that won't pay $500 for a figure than there are that will. I really think your $500 figure guys, that's a more elite group. And a lot of times they know they're an elite group, and they like to be able to say that. Right? Like, we saw a lot of more of that elite collector thing in the early days of Mezco, but these groups have gotten far bigger now than what they were then. Right? I think when I first started in the group, what was it? Maybe 3,000, maybe 4,000 people, maybe. So like the group is doubled in size, right? The interest is doubled in size. You got people that never knew anything about Mezco that has now discovered it and have gotten into the line. I don't know why you wouldn't take something like this and swing for the fences. And like I said, it's Star Wars related. For Christ's sake, they made a Mr. Potato Head that was Star Wars related, and those suckers sold like crazy. Darth Tater, right? Everybody was Darth Taters there for a while. It was a Darth Tater potato head, and it was a hit because it's Star Wars related. Anything Star Wars related is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
We know what that following is.
Yeah, the mech suit was up for a day.
A day.
Yeah, a day. And at SDCC, it was kind of weird, but I think everybody was just getting the lay of the land, and they were trying to figure out what to spend money on. But the first day, there were people buying stuff, but that second and third day, that's when everything kicked in. I think people looked around the convention and said, okay, I'll buy this, I'll buy this, I'll buy this. I'm good with that. Trying to learn it. And then people were like, okay, time to open up the wallet. That second and third day, you know, as advertised on the site and pictures and stuff like that, that stuff sold out.
Yeah.
So, MC, what are your thoughts?
It's so hard to follow that guy. Yeah, again, he's right. I mean, Star Wars is money. If they're following the Star Wars line or even loosely basing on it, it's like the Spaceballs collection, you know, like the Spaceballs, the toy. I mean, it's money. It's printing money. Mezco obviously printed a lot of money with this guy and the mech suit and the SDCC is sold out. I mean, it's just it's an easy what they call it, like the easy home run pitch, you know, like the little lob ball that they throw and you crush it out of the park. I mean, it's so many people are, you know, especially you know, us old school nerds and stuff, you know, Star Wars was part of our youth, and that's why we collect, a lot of us, because it ties us back to our youth. And who wasn't a Star Wars fan when they were a kid? Like, I would really, you know, what kind of childhood did you have? Kind of abused closet where you stuck in, but you know, it just hits on all the feels, like, you know, they're leaving a lot of meat on the bone by not selling more of this.
Yeah, I usually use that as a counterpoint for somebody. Like, somebody will always say something about Gomez, and they'll say, why do they keep doing that character? Why are they doing their own IP? I mean, you can get technical and you can say, yeah, they're probably a smaller production run than it would be a licensed figure. And then, they just keep doing roaches, and you try to reason with somebody, yeah, well, take the roach head off. And they're like, no, it's still a roach. And I'm like, okay. And then you just got to get bare bones with some people and say, okay, if you were on the 3-yard line and you handed the ball to the running back and he scored a touchdown every single time, would you not use that play? And he's like, no, I would. I'm like, it's the exact same thing. That character has not sold out or not made money for them. And so I understand what you're saying about the whole, why didn't they make more?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be an optimist, and that's why I think, just with everything that follows, how they've done business in the past, I still think that there's an open entry for it. I just, when I hear you talk about it, CC, that's the part of the communication part I think would definitely help. Because even though I'm an optimist and I say, okay, just hold, when you're in the moment, it's hard to tell people that, because you're still in the moment of, I miss this, I'm mad. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying majority of the community there. I miss this, I'm mad. Now I got to resort to other things. And you don't want to lose your customer base.
Yeah. See, I think the problem with optimism is it's tough to make financial decisions on optimism, right? Now we're talking about gambling. You know, we could say, okay, well, you know what? I could go ahead and pre-order that Rook and then hope down the road that they make the offering again.
Right.
Well, let's say maybe they don't. Now I've paid $100 for this figure that I'll never get rid of unless I sell it for a loss, because, you know, I had a hope. that they might do it.
Yeah.
You know, they were talking about comparing this to like White Skull Agent and maybe even Lone Roach. Could you imagine with White Skull Agent, if after they sold that one, they then sold, you know, his sidekick and had a pre-order for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many
White
people are
Skull.
going to get that pre-order for the sidekick for White Skull Agent when you didn't get a chance to get the White Skull Agent?
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, I don't need, you know, Blue Boy. What do I need Blue Boy for if I didn't get, you know, White Skull Agent? You're not going to do it, you know. So when you do like, to me, if you're going to do like really limited offerings like this, just because you want to create some buzz, don't make it a key figure, right? If it's going to be a key figure, you better make it accessible to everyone. Because if it's not, then it's a turnoff for that line. And like I said, to build up all this hype, we talked about it last week. You built up all this hype. You had the stop motion. You got the comic, all this stuff. It's Star Wars related. We're expecting more mechs, right? You would think, even though I won't buy one, but I still got to think that they're going to buy more mechs or have more mechs.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not go all out?
Yeah.
Right? And like we talked before, you know, how hard is it, you know, for that communication?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm not using optimism to see through the wall. I get it. You know what I mean? I understand that you can't hang hopes on something that might happen. I think it's more of like a logical thing for me. That's why I think like that. But that doesn't work for everybody. And that may not make sense to people. And it doesn't solve some of the feelings or personal views like somebody feels at that time. I only say, I'm not saying I don't acknowledge the fact that that character has a possibility of not even coming out. I just try to be optimistic about it, but it doesn't work. It's definitely something that I think everybody can learn from, like collectors too. Like for me, in this, I know that I need to be a little bit more alert and come up with like backup plans for friends or collectors I know that I care about. You know what I mean? Like I think we'll have a protocol for us. You know, it's like, well, I'm serious. I will try to take these situations and learn from it. I can't, even if I missed it, I can't be pissed off about it because you know what? It's not going to solve the problem for me. I don't like doing that. I'm more logical, and so I'll say, you know what do I need to do better next time, or not better because it's the situation is a combination thing. But I need to say, what can I do to be better prepared next time? Like for us, I would say we'll probably powwow before any pre-order, standard doctor's orders, and be like, okay, CC, are you working? Yeah, I'm working. Do you want me to get you one?
Yeah.
That way you don't even have to worry about it, ordering it. I can just email you or text message you say, yo, I got it. You don't even have to worry about it. And then chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
I think you pretty much summed up a lot of the stuff for Mezco. Like, MC, what do you think? What do you think that Mezco can take from this to improve their process or make it a better overall experience for customers?
I mean, they put it in red letters on the website, and I missed it. You know, like, but I was in a hurry to say to get back. You know, I had to.
Yeah, you figure if you just spent some time reading around at that point, you might have missed out, right? You'd been like, Miss Limited, and then you know, then it's gone.
I'll tell you a quick story, and I want to jump back to MC, but like, so you know how I do the stuff with the group, right?
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time when I said, hey, this is a pretty big offering. There's a lot of interest in it. I'm going to do all the admin stuff for the thing, like put the link up, put all the information up first. Oof. I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to order. This is the very first time I was going to do that. Usually I'm like, hey, I got to take care of myself, you know? And so what I did was I went over to the site. I put all my stuff in the cart. I remember I had PayPal credit. And I was like, this sucks because I'm going to have to split the order. It's a different time. This is a buy it now. I was like, you know what? I'll leave the group for a second. Let me just order this really quick, and then I'll go back and I'll do it, right? So I order them separate. I come back. I go in the group. I start putting some photos up, and it's gone. And so yeah, exactly. And so that's one of the things. It's like you got to like kind of look at some of that stuff. And I know now I'll just order, but I nerd look at everything, and that's the reason why I noticed some of those things in the email and then also on the website. I know I wanted to make sure I got this too, because somebody mentioned this. Like with the website, somebody said that, and this is what I meant about the whole we're conditioned to kind of look at it and say, oh, it's limited, it'll be up for a day. Because traditionally that's what we've been doing, right? If you look at this one, it does say, not making an excuse. So it does say limited edition exclusive, right? We're all used to seeing that. It's on most of the stuff that's like MDX stuff, right? This is what I was talking about. Limited supply available, right? So someone mentioned earlier, they said, oh, Rook had the same thing. The thing is that it does say that it's a limited edition, right? Exclusive, because most MDXs do. It doesn't say that here. It doesn't have that tagline. But that was the reason why I was like, let me go back and I'll try to get this. If you look at most of that stuff, God, can you do pink skulls?
We can like debate semantics all day. You know, like what if they, you know, I'm going to put this question out there and I don't intend to get an answer, but what if they mean limited availability because of the buy it now, and we're not going to get more, you know, we might get more later with when the second shipment comes in or something.
That's what I meant about like the
You just added
communication
a line
and
right there.
yeah, and jumping on it, because what happens is like when you do that, you kind of cut some of these problems off, at least in my eyes. If you know that there's going to be another shipment or there's plans to do this character, you're gonna have people go, okay, I can breathe because there's going to be another offering with this. You cut out a lot of the aftermarket stuff because people aren't going to say that this is scarce. I can charge whatever I want. You can do whatever you want. You can charge whatever you want. I'm just saying that that's a frustration for collectors, right?
Yeah.
That's why I asked CC in the beginning, if they communicated that right from the beginning, would that change your mind? Because that's the sticking point with it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to reel your customer base back in. And I'm not telling them what to do. I just know, speaking from a customer and from their track record, that works. They did it with the gold skulls. That thing sold out quick. And then they put it up again and they said, hey, we're doing a second run. Yeah. And the second run, we're going to do that. Now we'll take the pre-order. You guys are going to get this at a later date. You specifically tell those customers so they're already mentally prepared, but at least they know that they're going to get the figure. They've done that with other things too, like I said, with Gomez and the comic book. Yep, Gomez the Death. They do Nosferatu.
Vapor, he was a buy it now at first, wasn't he? And then they opened pre-order after.
But with all those offerings, they did let you know pretty soon afterwards that, hey, it's coming. Like I said, this one's been almost a week.
Right.
There's been no communication to let us think that there's going to be salvation ahead.
Right. But what I'm saying is when we talk about like how could something be handled differently, I'm showing a formula that has worked for them.
Yeah.
It has, because traditionally you've gone through that.
Yeah.
I think people are a little bit, it makes you more secure in the fact as a customer with a company that you know you're going to actually get the item. I don't think anybody wants to go pay aftermarket, but if you know you have an opportunity, even if you have to wait 6 months, dude, the Nosferatu, that came back later. So did those skulls. I think it was like a 3 to 6 month wait. But if you know that you're going to secure that order,
right,
you're still going to be able to feel comfortable with that.
Right. Now, we do know there's a company out there that communicates almost at a fault, right? And I do feel like this is one of those situations where Four Horsemen does a really good job with this. They had that Valiant Knight that was available at the convention, right?
Right.
And they said, hey, we have a limited of in-stock supply, but don't panic. We're going to have more early 2024.
Right.
Right? Simple. It's just that simple. And look at what the aftermarket prices for that thing have done. I think he was $65 at retail. I don't think I've seen him go above 90.
Mm-hmm. But
it's because people know, look, I'm not going to give you $200 for this thing because I know early 2024 I'm going to be able to get him for $65.
Yeah.
So once again, the people have dictated what that aftermarket price is going to be because we're not willing to pay any more than that, knowing that one is coming. But when you just kind of leave people hanging and just leave us to our own devices, when you leave us to our own devices, we can be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
We know that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I think
we gotta be protected from ourselves.
right. That's what I mean about it. I think personally, like as a collector and just experience in management, I know it's not. I've had management experience, management in business, customer relations, and I'm not saying that changes anything or that my thought process is how somebody should do something. I think I'm speaking more as a customer. I think it helps you with your fan base, and it helps build confidence. It also helps you establish a better relationship because, like we said, we've constantly gotten on this, talked about communication, right? And I think this eliminates some of that because now you're just going to have people talking in groups, coming up with their own conspiracy theories when someone could come out and say, you know what, we wanted to bring excitement back into the line. We got on the message boards and we saw how, quote unquote, our stuff isn't limited. Well, we wanted to put something special out. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you, even if you had something like that, maybe people would understand and not be left to their own vices, like you said. You may not agree with it, but at least the communication is there.
You know what this release really reminds me of? In all
The
honesty,
White Skull Agent or
Spec Ops Punisher.
Mm.
Remember how big Spec Ops Punisher was when they released that? And everyone kind of said the same thing. Like, why would you make such a popular character such a limited run?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he was a licensed figure or whatever, and it was a buy it now or whatever. And that was one of those things where the website crashed because I was on right on time and never even got through the queue. It was kind of a mess.
Right.
I think that thing sold out in like 90 seconds. And everyone kind of had the same thing. And you see where the aftermarket price for that thing is still hovering around, $2 to $250 for Spec Ops. It still hasn't really come down. I would just love to know from them, why you would choose this, something that's kind of, almost your own personal flagship with this Void Wars story that you're building, and then make the heroes so limited.
Yeah.
And it's Star Wars related. Come on, man. If I had the ability to make anything that was Star Wars related or look like Star Wars, oh man, it's like printing money. It's like printing money.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes cloth goods you want are no longer available, and that's the reason why there are some limits. Yeah, see, I remember that. I think it's important to say too that this is all like speculation. I mean we can dissect it as much as we can, but there's stuff that we probably don't know about. But I think it's good to have these conversations to kind of show the impact it has on the community, but also that you can communicate it. Like I said earlier, you can have these conversations and not like shit on people and make them feel bad about it. I think there's a lot of good information, man. You like hit 8 home runs tonight. I wanna keep talking about it, but I think besides MC, he didn't really get too much. But we've talked about it. Why don't we get somebody from the community to talk about their feelings? Before I bring you on, huh?
Instead of fresh voice.
Yeah, fresh voice. So before I get you on, Son-Ova, we want to try to keep it light because we're already at 2 hours. So the 2 questions that we're gonna have, of course, we're gonna have Son-Ova come on right now. Always a breath of fresh air, positive energy, and thoughtful thinker.
How are you guys?
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
So I'm glad you came on. Thank you, man, for coming on. Obviously, this is a hot topic, bro. So in order to kind of keep it, is Christian here? Is he here or no?
I'm talking to Christian.
Okay.
Like on through chat. So.
Okay. Is he coming on?
Yeah, I got him locked and loaded.
Okay, cool. Thank you, man. Thank you. So really quick, I mean, you heard us talk about it. Obviously, I want to get your thoughts on it too. So the two questions I have for the one, were you able to get it today?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I like to make sure we understand what perspective we're talking from. So you were
Okay.
able to get it. What did you think about the whole situation?
I didn't think anything of it. I'm from again. I want to just start by saying that I understand everything that's going on. I don't agree with some topics, but I just want to say I understand. Um, I'm from an era where when things sold out at a store, you had to go walk to another one, see if they had it, walk there, see if they had it, and it was the thrill of being a collector, not having everything. I,
Hmm.
I, I think everybody deserves a figure, but I do understand that everybody won't get one. Um, I'm talking as fast as possible. I know you got somebody else coming,
No, take
but
your time. I don't want you to feel like you're rushed.
but I'm looking at it from a totally different viewpoint from being, especially being a bidder at my previous job. I did a lot of bidding, so I understand like the in and outs of bidding. And sometimes you have to do some sacrifices, and some things may look ugly, and you just don't understand it.
Hmm.
Um, I think this was a proposal. I don't want to keep adding to the speculation, but I think this was a proposal. Um, Mez is already in the house of the mouse. They already knocked on the door of marble. Why not? We're in the house already. Let's see if we can get to that Jedi room. I believe they knocked. They said, "Let me see what you got. Here's a mech and a Gomez. That's cool, but let me see what else you got." I think they put this out knowing, listen, you want to see what I can do? They love Gomez. They love Star Wars. I think this a sellout in a day, but it ended up
Hmm.
selling out in 6 minutes. So this had to be like a look what I can do. Why not let me take that contract, or the property's over for a minute. You see what I can do.
Hmm.
Let me take a crack at it. That's how I was thinking. I'm like, oh, they looks like they're putting on a show for somebody.
Hmm.
So that's the only way I can see them doing this. And like Cece was saying, the product. And I hate to sound like this, but when the product is good, you can do pretty much whatever you want. The product is so good, I don't have to stay open 7 days a week. I can close on Sundays because I'm that good. But again, I don't want to offend anybody. It's you have customers and then you have addicts. Somebody that's addicted to the product.
Hmm.
Customers you treat with the utmost respect. Addicts, I can put this out and mistreat them and sell it here, there, do whatever, and they'll buy it. But
Hmm.
some consumers are just addicts for the product and they devalue the product. I hate seeing that as well. You get online, you see a figure for $500. It's like you don't know that you're devaluing everything around this product by doing that. Um, and that's pretty much, I'm just used to it. I remember going to 8 different stores when I was young to find a GameCube or Wii because they weren't there. But when I finally got it, the gratification, I was so happy. So I understand, you're not going to get it right then and there, but you'll get it down the line. I wasn't particularly pleased with my Solomon Kane. It's a beautiful figure, but it just wasn't for me. End up trading
Hmm.
it for a God Gomez, and I
Ooh.
was looking for him for years. So it's like it's just a part of the collecting game. There's figures out there I know I'll never get my hands on, but I like trying to see if I can get it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think that by saying that the community might look at that as um, sacrificing the fan base for something else, if that was the case?
That's how I'm looking at it now, and again, I'm trying to not walk on eggshells, but there's no feelings in business. It's casualties in
Yeah.
business. My thing, if I can sacrifice, my thing, if they would have emailed me right now, give back your Gomez for the real Jedi, I'd give it
Hmm.
back in a heartbeat. Here you go, give me Luke. But
Yeah.
that's just my perspective. I'm not even saying none of this happened, but that's how I was looking. I'm like, wow, they proved the point with this. this red-eyed Gomez.
That's what I think. Sometimes people would look at this and feel like maybe that they missed out, and maybe it was part of a decision. And that's the kind of customer and fan base that I think sometimes, if you lose some loyal fans in that case, it could be detrimental over a longer period of time, sometimes even a short period of time. I've seen people say in the group, in the now, people are like, I'm done with this. And it's sad. I hate seeing it, especially if it's collectors that collect the line because they collect the line because they enjoy it.
I definitely understand. And like I said before, it just as a collector of anything, sneakers, vinyl, cars, you're not always going to get your hands on it. And you have to accept that. You know, I still looking for a burner vapor at a reasonable trade or sell, you know, and I may not be able to get it, but I'm not going to say, you know, I don't like Mezco anymore. To me, it just feel, you know.
Oh, you dropped.
Oh, hello?
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay. That it just intensifies my, man, what's going on? Is that me? I'm talking too crazy, guys. I'm sorry.
Zucky got you.
I'm talking out of line.
That's not me. I didn't do it. Yeah. So is there anything that you feel that could have made this situation better as a whole, or no?
Not at all.
No?
I'll miss the next pre-order or the next grail, and I'm not gonna lose any sleep. I'm still gonna love the product. I'm gonna see if I can get it somewhere else. But again, the product is so good. How can you be mad? I know you can be disappointed, like, hey, I didn't get it, but you can't be mad when the product is excellent.
Yeah. You guys got any questions for Son-Ova?
What album cover are you creating with it?
This dude. Something controversial.
I don't want the answer. I want to know, do you already have something in mind?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm still working. I just got this Doom yesterday, so I'm like, not yesterday, a few days ago. So I'm trying to work on something with him and the White Ranger. But
Nice. Looking forward to it, man.
I just became a villain tonight.
No, it's different perspectives, man.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I think Son-Ova's talking about exactly what we were saying. Is that you know, he said the Game of Death. You know, it took you a couple years to finally get that figure. Yeah. You didn't run out and spend the $400 in the aftermarket price to get that figure. You know what I mean? You waited until you finally got one at an affordable price, and that's kind of like the same thing that I've done with other figures that I've missed out on. Like, if I can get one later on, I'll go ahead and do it. Like I said, the only thing with me is, like, I'm not going to buy the other characters to go along with them, you know what I mean, until I can secure that one, right? They had an exclusive pair of shoes, and I was able to get the, you know, or I couldn't get the left. I'm not going to buy the right, you know, until I can get that left shoe. I don't want half of it, you know. If I can't get it, I just won't get it. And to me, it just seemed like I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, but when you're launching a line, you know, something like that, you would think that you would want the initial offerings to be readily available. And to think that, you know, the only readily available offering we got was the mech suit just seems like a huge investment. And, you know, we talk all the time how space is finite, right? Like, I don't have room for a mech suit in my collection. There's a reason why I let go of all that Thundercat stuff and why the Thunder tank never even got opened. Just can't do it. You know, I didn't order his tank. I haven't gotten the helicopter. The name is avoiding me right now. But
Dragonfly.
Yeah, the Dragonfly. You know, I didn't do it. You know, I think 24 inches long or something like that. I don't have the room for that. You know what I mean? But like Son was saying, that's kind of the way you do have to look at it. Is if you miss it, you can't be spoiled over it. You can't cry about it. You can't be threatening to no longer buy a figure ever again. You have to get comfortable with the idea of knowing there are going to be some figures you're just not going to get.
Yeah.
Right? But then at the same time, the company has to live with the repercussions of, if people get turned off to Void Wars because they don't have any of the key characters for Void Wars, I would expect a short run.
Yeah.
But just say hypothetically, if they would have said, we're stopping after Rook, we're not doing anything, we got the license, would you care still about the Void War characters if they would have bring the real thing?
No. If they said, "Hey, look, we're doing it just as a test," but then that goes back to like the communication part of it, right?
Mhm.
Like if you said, "Hey, you know what? This is going to be coming down the road," which I don't think they would do because it's just not their style. Then I'd be like, "Oh, you know what? I'll wait on this. I'll just wait and get the Star Wars, like you said, the real deal." You know what I mean? I'd wait and go ahead and do that. I wouldn't be that big on it, but I don't think they would ever kind of show their hand, or something like that. But to me, it's Paige showed the thing on the page where it shows limited supplies, available. If they just added one line and said limited in stock supply available, right?
Yeah.
Second pre-order coming soon. It eliminates all of this, guessing and what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. So there's a lot of things where just some convenient communication could solve a lot of this. Then we're not even on here talking about it, right? Instead, we're talking about, hey, man, who's going to order it in March when it goes back up?
Yeah.
Right? Does anybody still want it? Are you going to do it? Hey, in June, when they release Luke, how many farm boys are you going to get? Right? How many X-Wing Lukes are you going to get? Are you going to follow it? Who do you hope is going to be next? You're going to encourage that communication, but you really got to make sure that you have timely communication, because I think we've seen where you've had untimely, like we talked about the Pacific Krigs and stuff like that, where they made these offerings and a lot of people were hurt because they extended themselves financially to have something that they really wanted. And I'm sure they would have known if I had just waited 6 months, I could have saved myself $1,000. A lot of people would have done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people would have done that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I understand.
Communication.
MC, you got something?
I'm still excited for the Gomez, no matter what Star Wars figures. I don't want them to make Star Wars. I can't afford it. no.
That's the other argument. Yeah, going down that road. Oh man.
I already dumped enough in Black Series and Vintage Collection. I know that I'll end up single. I'll get to see Sawyer and my toys one weekend a month and an occasional Wednesday, So.
Yeah. Well, Son-Ova, got Christian in here. This will be his first time, so we want to make sure we really ravage this version.
All right, thank you guys so much for your time. All right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. Right. Yeah, take the damn shot.
Gotta do them.
Will do.
All right, man. Take care, bro. Oop, I cut him off. My bad. I forgot to give him a high five too. So next, this is the first time C Powers has been on, so we gotta make sure we give him a good warm welcome. I'm making sure that he's clothed as well. So this is the first time he's coming on, so please make sure you give him a nice warm welcome, and we'll kind of wrap this up here in a little bit. Good conversation, Christian. All right, hopefully he's ready. He's live.
Hello.
What a flex.
Damn, this guy.
I just decided to put the figure up on kind of like display, since that's what it's all about really, is the toys. And I apologize for some people not being able to get it. That does suck. I feel for them very badly. Oh, so I had a couple of notes. I went ahead and tried to note some things down so I'm not rambling and everything.
We ramble here.
First off, I just want to thank Paige and the two Corys for having me. Appreciate that. That's cool. Also the community, because I found a sense of community when I started collecting again since COVID started. So I found a new community I used to travel a lot and go to see music and connect with people that way. But it's also been cool to start photography and start collecting as an adult, because I did that as a kid. But appreciate the community, and Mezco is like the best one. I found other ones are a lot more toxic, even though there's some toxicity in this one sometimes, and usually people can feelings hurt, I guess. But also Mezco for making excellent figures that it's my number one line to collect. I appreciate them. And for anyone that missed out, just be patient. I hope that the wait lists convert. That's what I've been telling people.
Nice, man. So you got it in hand. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited about it. I like the offering. I think that it's a different enough look to it that it sets it apart. And I just went into it on Friday. I was sitting at the bar with my buddy at lunch, and I signed in and did my checkout as usual. And I was surprised when I checked Facebook like 15 minutes later that it was sold.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. I've
Yeah.
never done anything like that since collecting Mesco, because I started in like 2022, so about 2 years ago.
hmm
But I've heard stories about, like I said, the Symphony of Horror dropping at midnight or or something.
He went there.
Yeah, he did.
That was
So the obvious first question is answered. You do have it, and thank you for showing us. So I know you went through your drop. What are your personal thoughts on this whole situation?
I agree with a lot of things been said. I don't think that any figure. I do think that, like Paige said, it's each person's prerogative to sell it for what they think it's worth or value. Like, that's subjective. But I also do not like seeing figures above $250 range. And
Yeah, neither do I.
there's a couple that I would love to get, like like y'all even mentioned, Classic Punisher or something like that. I wish things were a little more readily available as well for people that came into the line a little bit later.
Yeah. So do you feel like the limited exclusivity of this offering has that kind of set what we've been talking about, and especially things that CC have been pointing out? Do you think that this may have kind of left a bad taste in people's mouth with this Void Wars line?
I think so, yeah. But I think it depends on the collector. So not to jump off topic, but it's kind of related. I missed out on the Inart Gandalf figure, the 1/6 one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very limited. And I mean, I was thinking in my head, okay, I'm gonna order it this coming Friday. And this was back in June of last year. I'm gonna wait till I get some more money in my account. I'll order it then. And when I went to check it just a few days later, it was sold out, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere for pre-order. And that thing's going for $800, $900, $1,200, and it's a $400 or $500 retail piece. So.
Jesus.
And those things were very limited as well, all handmade and stuff. So I like the collector part of me, since I have been collecting. I collect vinyls, comics as a kid, a whole bunch of different things, artwork like music posters and stuff when I travel. So I'm collecting in general, so I like limited edition things, and I guess I'm kind of used to that mentality of knowing that things will potentially sell out and you don't want to be subjected to the aftermarket.
Right.
So I there's nothing wrong with it, because obviously I'm kind of addicted to it in different degrees and different levels.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see how people can get turned off by not being prepared or life happening and just the circumstances that go in with that.
Yeah, I pulled up your Instagram page.
It's a fucking great shot.
Yeah, man.
That's actually my favorite one for you.
Which the Miles one?
Yeah, it's so versatile. You can do Spider-Man or just every day. Like, I have a couple more shots I want to do in my head of like just him at the arcade.
Wow.
Yeah, these are great, man. I really like this one. Very well timed.
Yeah, I've been sitting on those clothes for like 6 months, and I've just been lazy and haven't gotten around to do a shot. Then that stop motion picture came out
Right.
before the drop, and I was like, all right, this is my kick in the nuts to get it going and do the shot.
Yeah, these are great.
He said the other day, sometimes you just got to take the shot, and I've learned that too.
Yeah, these are good, man. These are really good.
That's actually a cookie sheet on the stove, because I don't have
really?
I don't have any Star Wars or like spacey dioramas, so I was just trying to see if I could make do with stuff I had around the house, because I've seen other people be kind of creative that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to take my crack at it.
This looks good, man. I like how you centered it too, like right there.
Yeah, I noticed that, and so I tried to make sure that I did that.
You guys have some questions? Oh, look at these comments. I love it.
What's a Mezco Grail for you that you want to get your hands on? I know you said Punisher earlier, but is there something else, or is that it?
I'm
You said
kind
you're
of a completionist, so I am kind of ashamed to admit I've spent some aftermarket prices on like a burner vapor and different things like that.
Mhm.
So I think I almost have everything that I want, except for like a White Skull agent. I don't have that, but I'm not super like committed to getting him really. I don't know. I think I'm caught up on everything. I'm trying to have more self-control and not buy it. And when Paige put that link up showing how many releases were dropped last year, that was kind of eye-opening and shocking, but exciting and fun. But also I can relate to CC as well. Like I struggle to get work done in family time and then do this photography stuff on the side. I barely have time to do that. So there's figures that sit sometimes for a couple of months and I don't get to play with them or pose them up, and that's unfortunate. That sucks. Like Solomon Kane is one of them. Like I want to mess with him more.
These are really good, man. These are really good. Obviously,
I can't do it all on my own. Not to cut you off, but I mean, there's a lot of people that like I said, I built a community around, and we've helped each other out in different ways. And so shout out to like Ian Saunders and Max Fisher and Vonnie Rotten. He's helped me be like more creative and think about a different way of approaching photography instead of just taking shots of superheroes, which are awesome, but I've tried to really dive into the 112 like Rumble Society line and just do more creative shots. That's so some people I didn't do it all by myself. You know what I mean?
I like your everyday life kind of shots. You know, like Union Gomez leaning on the trash can, like on a lunch break and stuff like that. Those are
so more cool. Fun to me as well. Yeah. But if you shout out to Optimus Crime also, and What's Up Danger and 80s Bird. I'll check all them out. And 80s Baby from California, because he got me the SDCC Void Gomez. So all those are really good people, and I appreciate the community that I've built around this.
Yeah, these look great, man. This one, I like the mood on this one.
Mm-hmm. Nice lighting.
Yeah.
It's the time, man. I wish I had more time. Like, so sometimes you have these ideas, but also we're trying to buy a house in the next couple months. So I don't have like a studio or like a safe space to do all this. So breaking it down and setting it all up in just a couple hours to try to do it while the baby's sleeping and stuff, it's kind of hard. So looking forward to one day having more space and time to do it.
Yeah, hopefully so, man. I think you're doing pretty well with the time you have.
I appreciate the support, though. I do.
Yeah, these are great, man.
I do it because I love it, and like I'm passionate about the line. Like I collect a couple other things. Like I used to collect DBZ, Figure Arts, and Mayfex, and that's pretty much the imports I collected. But once I got into Mezco, it took over. Something about the software, like y'all said, the everyday lifestyle shots that you can do with it, it just sets them apart to me.
Yeah, these are great, bro. Well, congratulations. And of course, everybody that's watching, here's C Powers. I didn't want to give your government name. Here's C Powers' IG if you want to go check him out. Good photos, great guy.
No, yeah, it's all about this figure here, and I hope that there's a turnaround and there's like a silver lining or like some light at the end of the tunnel, and some people have access to getting it later without paying exorbitant prices. So
yeah, definitely, man. It's a touchy topic.
I mean, it pretty much is everything that came with the Void Cadet. Just all the gun effects are all red. The holster's black. The helmet's got a red tint to it. The jetpack's the same, just colored black. So it's the thing that sets it apart is that what I enjoy about it the most is the gray skin paint apps and the cloak. That's the biggest difference, really.
It looks good, man. It looks good. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, people can get it.
I'm grateful to be able to have it, though.
Bro, it was good having you on, man. We gotta make some time and try to get you back on again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and maybe I set myself up. I ain't trying to be weird or anything. I'll put my face out here just to say, hey everybody.
Hey, man. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Good to see y'all, and I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really happy you were able to make it, man. Thank you, and thank you for sharing the figure too.
Yeah, man, it speaks for itself. I hope that people don't have to do without, because I'm excited about the Void Wars. The thing that sets the Mesco apart too is the comic books and things like that. The little extra mile, the pins.
Yeah.
They give the Mesco Mondays away. Like they're putting back in the community, even though.
Yeah.
Everything I feel, I do see that they are giving back to collectors in different ways, more than any other company that I've dealt with and seen and collected from. So they get a few extra notches on that, I think.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Thanks again, man, for joining us. Appreciate you, man, and have fun. Take some great shots. I know you will. So,
I'm looking forward. Thank y'all. Thanks, Cory. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Right.
Have a good one, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, all right. So, can I bring up one point that we kind of alluded on tonight, and then just to kind of talk about something? I wanted to get your thoughts on it too. I know we talked about it a little bit, but the pre-ordering thing. I know with this situation, even though it's different and it's a little bit of a variable because it was a buy it now and it's a Mezco exclusive, so it doesn't really fall on the same thing. But I saw a lot of people talking about like pre-ordering and not ordering like Mezco, like directly from Mezco. What do you guys thoughts on that?
Well,
make it good. We got to wrap it up.
I have supported and still support, some of the small sellers in the group and stuff like that. And then, like what is it? The PX, we had to go somewhere else for that one, like you usually do. But I myself, and I know everybody's, I'm not a shill, nothing like that. I prefer to go to Mesco just straight to the source, just because I know that I can get a return if it's within a certain amount of window. I get reward points. You can bitch that you got to pay tax or shipping or whatever, but it's also peace of mind that I guarantee this coming from Kevin's hands to mine instead of whoever else along the way. And next thing you know, like you never know. You could buy from a secondary place and, our shipment didn't come in, it got damaged or whatever, and the product sold out. You're shit out of luck. Here's your money. So,
yeah. CC?
So I'm not against ordering anything directly from Mezco. I haven't really had any bad situations. Sometimes as far as speed, like sometimes you get it faster when you order directly from Mezco. Sometimes you get it faster if you order from certain retailers. And sometimes it depends on the retailer you choose. So I do have one retailer that I order from a lot. I like the guy, great conversation. So as far as I enjoy the customer service aspect of that, so I will order a lot of things from him, and I kind of like that. And you do kind of have the advantage of, some of these retailers offer the zero down, no pre-order type thing, which kind of discussed is kind of going against my my New Year's resolution, because I really want to make sure I'm paying for these pre-orders ahead of time, that way I don't get hit fourth quarter and regret it later on. So, I think it's kind of to each his own. At the end of the day, the money still goes back to Mezco. People act like, well, I'm not going to order from Mezco, so it's going to hurt them. But, because of my ordering from Mezco, like I think it's either Firefly or Snake Eyes. It only cost me $24 because I used my reward points. So some people don't talk about that often enough too. So there's advantages to ordering direct. And, like if there's I'm not against supporting small business at all. Like these retailers need it as well. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to ever tell you don't order it from another party. I think you just got to find what works for you. I do enjoy the FedEx Hold option, which you usually don't get when you go to the other retailers because they don't use FedEx when they're sending it to you. So, whatever floats your boat on that one is what I would say. But to say, hey, I'm not ordering from Mezco because you call that being I'm going to hurt them, you're still supporting Mezco by buying Mezco. It's just kind of pointless. Yeah. But I suppose if it makes you feel better, hey, if it makes you feel better to order from, then you can justify that however you want. But that argument's kind of pointless.
Yeah, that's how I've seen it take a spike in the groups, and to me, it just seems like I understand the logic of it. Like you said, I think a lot of people are thinking that for one, it'll hurt Mezco in the long run, which it doesn't. Like we talked about last week, the money is still going to Mezco. You're not making really a statement saying that you're dissatisfied with whatever the service is. But I think a lot of people are also getting into this cycle where they think if they order from a wholesaler that they're going to get the item quicker. I'm not dogging wholesalers at all. I mean, I think you know me. I've been a very strong advocate in the group about, and especially protecting wholesalers that we have in our group. I think that they take priority. If you're not in the group, I don't think that you should be able to offer services, and I'll never change that because that's a benefit of being in the group. So I'm a strong advocate for wholesalers, but there's this misconception, I think, because they've had a good run. A lot of people think that they're going to get the items first before they come out of Mezco because of everything that's going on. The only thing that I would say is you got to be careful with that because it wasn't like this a year ago. Mezco was putting out regular releases and MDX releases, and I'm not advocating for people to buy directly from Mezco. I'm just saying you got to watch some of this stuff because what's going to happen, I'm telling you right now, is you're going to put all this pressure on the wholesalers, and when they don't be the first to deliver your product, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame them, and the repercussions that you'll have on a wholesaler is way different than you do with Mezco. We've talked about that before. One bad order can set a wholesaler out of business completely. And that's what people are going to do. They're going to start pulling their NRDs from these wholesalers because they didn't get the figure first. So you got to be careful with that. Take care of the guys that you have because in our group, I've seen 3 of them go out of business. And so I understand the whole buying from a wholesaler, and I understand not buying from Mezco, but have a little bit of patience with both sides because you don't want to lose those assets because what's going to happen? Eventually, you are going to have to order from Mezco because you've dried up all these sellers. I've had some of these guys reach out to me too, man. Just kind of be careful with that and take that in consideration. It's going to even flow. Somebody's going to get it first. Somebody's not going to get it first.
Honor your commitments.
Yes. Yeah. So that's what I was talking about with pre-order. All right. 2:33.
Yeah, we've done far worse.
Yeah, we have. I think we have 3-hour ones, right? Thank you for hitting home runs tonight, bro.
You and MC had a marathon that one night I wasn't here. I think you guys ran a good 4 hours, wasn't it? It was
3, I think.
I had to watch that show in pieces when I got later on. You guys had it rolling that night. Yeah.
Chapter 1.
Yeah.
This is a good one, man. You killed it tonight, bro. Thank you, man. There's a lot of good points. Good points, not arguments and other things like that. I think there's a lot of good information out there, man, in this episode about that on how things can be modified to be better for everybody.
Now let's get my Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, you have it, right?
What's that?
It's coming. You have it coming, right?
I did order Spider-Man. I secured a Spider-Man. I got him coming. I'm looking forward to that one.
MC, did you order one?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be here soon. Next week, I think.
So play party?
Ooh,
Yes.
Got to do that one.
Play party. All right. So that'll be the next play party. Oh, I completely forgot. Actually, I was waiting for the 11 people to leave to give you the 30 people that are here the opportunity. I know some guys are probably in the chat like, when the fuck is this dude gonna put the tap?
They already got
I
it
need
locked
to
in
leave,
the
bro.
comments, but they just got to answer. Boom,
All
gone.
right, let's start. What do we got? Go ahead, read them off.
Molotov.
Hold on a second. Let me get it down now. Molotov cocktail, right? Or folktales? Yeah.
Folk Tales.
Got it.
Loco Lou.
Loco Lou.
I think Loco should have got extra points if he would have put like Loco Lou for Doom. You know.
Oh yeah. Let me give you a full thing here so that everybody can see it. This is the prize. Oh, all right. So Loco, who's next? Mario.
You're going to
Mario.
receive a raw, unassembled print.
Monty Ninja, right?
Yep.
All right. So it won't be painted. This is wood PLA. MC, are you doing yours in wood too, or are you doing a resin, or are you offering a choice?
I'm not 100% set. Like I like the back that I did in wood PLA.
Yeah.
Those that don't know, I'm new to PLA printing, but the resin has turned out phenomenal. Yeah, I don't want to. Mine's not assembled. Mine's in the 5 pieces, but
there's a difference in quality between resin and PLA, right? For people who might not be aware, like resin printing is a finer quality. It's very smooth finish. I went with the wood PLA because it kind of gives you almost more of a hand carved look to it. So it's not perfect. It has its imperfections, and that's kind of the reason why I did that, because I have a resin printer too.
What I thought about doing
that natural wear
is
so it's kind of all what your purpose is, but you'll be able to paint it however you want. It'll take the paint pretty well, like I said, but you will have to do some dremeling and assemble it. If you don't have access to a Dremel and you let me know and you win, I'll take care of that for you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just to let you know, it's not going to be perfect. It'll be similar to this one.
I thought about giving the back, if they want. I mean, they can have the whole thing, and then I can throw in the wooden back, because that one I really like how it turned out in the base plate. The where you actually the do with the bottom. They can have. I'll just give them that. I'll give them the
resin armrest.
Yeah, I'll give them. They can put it together how they want. Also, with me, like if you don't know resin, you have to, like CC and I said, if you missed any of it, whoever made the file, they didn't really make the size, so you got to do a little bit of filing to make the resin fit. Wear a mask when you do it, and if you want me to do it, we'll discuss it, and I'll Dremel it also to make all the parts fit. So you'll just have to glue it together when you get it. So and then paint then glue. Here's the head model for the resin.
I haven't even glued mine. You know what? I just kind of press fit mine. That way, if I do want to break it down or be able to store it, but I haven't glued anything. It's just all just press fit right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see the difference in the details in the resin one versus the. You can see how sharp those details are.
Whereas that looks good. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me give you a solo. Let me do CC's really quick, and then I'll do yours.
Here's that one, so you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Got kind of a more of a hand carved look to it, a little rough, a little rugged.
Yeah. And then let me get MC's real quick. MC, you got yours?
Yeah.
All right. Here's your solo shot, sir.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. De Niro.
Nice, man. I like that slick. That's nice. I like both of them. Like one has texture, the other one's like slick.
Yeah,
like stone.
It paints really well as also. I've painted resin, and I think what CC said, because he has experience with both, is the filament. It'll really take the paint a lot better, just because it's got a little bit rougher finish, so you'll get more details and shadows. So
yeah, it looks good, man. Okay, so really quick, felt generous So the 5 that we had, you guys got it, and then also Mr. Ortega, Molotov, Lokaloo, Mario, Ninja, Roger Dodger, Vidu, and then Son-Ova, Jimmy Pop, Cowboys for Life, Steven with a V. I got you guys all down. So congratulations, you guys are all in there. Dude,
Nice.
obviously, thank you guys very much. Again, CC, home runs, MC, thank you very much too, sir. And especially thank you in the chat. I really appreciate everyone like talking about this. Not getting, like I said, not spitting venom and stuff like that, just having a conversation about it. There's a lot you could take from this video and a lot of good feedback from customers and collectors that I think would actually help out. I really would be interested in some of their thoughts on this too. You know, it's different when it's one-sided, but to hear some of the stuff maybe officially from them, and maybe we'll get something, maybe we won't, but I definitely think there's a lot of good information in here that they could use in the future. Consultations from CC?
No, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, dude, appreciate everyone.
Put us out of our misery.
No
No pitchforks, though. I want to reiterate that. Like, I'm not trying to bash Mezco. I'm not trying to tell anybody not to support Mezco. Like I said, I'm still looking forward to my Spider-Man. I haven't been turned off to the line completely. You know, I just feel like, this was a missed opportunity to really just literally print money.
Yeah. I think if I had a disclaimer, because I know this will get thrown back, I'm not, and I've never advocated for aftermarket pricing. Like I said, I've been part of it where I had to pay it. It sucks. I didn't like it, but honestly, it's part of collecting. It's always been part of collecting. I just think you gotta learn how to navigate it and use it to your benefit. You can. The guests we had on, they both had great suggestions. Trading, holding stuff. I think the community needs to look out for each other a little bit more in that respect. I'm definitely going to get with you guys afterwards, and like I said, we'll come up with that plan where no matter what, we have a fail-safe. But I mean, some of this is community too. If you don't like some of the stuff that's happening, whether it be aftermarket, look out. Make these little brotherhoods and take care of each other.
We're gonna call it a code red eye from now on. We got a code red eye. Code red eye. But you need one? Yes or no? You need a code red eye.
Yeah. I know some smart ass is gonna message me and go, it doesn't matter if it's limited page. If they only made X amount, how's that gonna help you? Stop. Just be positive, man. try to work on some of that stuff. You can get around it. Yeah. It's good. Good talk tonight, fellas. As always. I'm ready for us to hit, what was it?
50 million views?
50 million views.
That'll be next week when Cat is on. We should ask him. Cat, did you get one?
Nah. This will do better than the Cat Williams one.
He would probably be all over a Red Eye Gomez, though.
I know. We're probably at 50 already with this stuff. Hey, that's a win in my book. I don't care. One person watches it. It's cool. One person watches the show. It's good. So,
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, sign offs. Are we doing sign offs? We got it?
As always, help control the pet population. Please have your pet spayed or neutered for about $426.
Or one Red Eye Gomez.
Or one Red Eye Gomez. Yeah.
What do you got? MC, what do you got?
Just like you said, find a buddy or buddies and have each other's back. Now we know. I mean, like, what's next? Site crashes while you're trying to check out? Sorry, I probably just jinxed that shit.
Yeah, you probably did. It's been since White Creek since that happened. The last one I heard of that. And I've seen something like that. Wu-Tang. Oh, we didn't talk about the sweaters and the caps and stuff. Oh, well, we probably don't need to. Nobody cares about that stuff, right? I do still think I wish they would have done that white crew neck in a black and yellow. Oh, that would have been so badass. I wondered if it had anything to do with that. Like
Killer Bees.
Well, yeah, if it was like maybe something that's kind of like a likeness thing, I don't see how it could be. It was a skull and some words, but man, I would have definitely bought another one if it was a black and the yellow one.
Yeah.
So,
That'd have been tight.
yeah, man. Thanks.
Black and red eye edition.
Mm-hmm. Smart man. Smart man. I've heard somebody say that before. Wu-Tang! All right. Thank you, everybody that showed up tonight. I appreciate you. And again, I appreciate the productive conversation. A lot of good information. A lot of good vibes. You guys take care. And let's all hope something happens. And I would laugh my ass off if they put out a press release tomorrow and say, hey, guys, guess what?
Make that email happen.
Noticed?
Let's shut down these $500 sales. Let's make that email happen.
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, so positive stuff. All right, y'all take care, man. Appreciate you guys.